Check, check, 1, 2, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Mic
Hello.
check. Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2, 2. Good afternoon from the Lake Placid Olympic Center here at the USA Rink, where we are set to start day 2 of the Paul Smith College Burning Leaves Tournament. Hello, everybody. My name is Sean McHugh, alongside Ryan Tantillo from the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard for digital media solutions, as we are here for day 2 of the Burning Leaves Tournament hosted by Paul Smith College. Today's matchup features the host team, the Paul Smith College Bobcats and the Widener Pride. We are going to send it over to our play-by-play man, Ryan Tantillo, as we're about to bring you coverage for the start of our game.
Thank you, Sean, and we're here for day 2 of this Burning Leaves tournament, and both of these teams took losses yesterday in game 1. Widener fell to the University of Rochester 4-2, and this Paul Smith College, the host team, fell in that first game 5-4 to Hofstra in overtime. So obviously an opportunity for them early this afternoon in the first game of day 2 to salvage the weekend and walk away with the first win of the season for either of these teams.
Absolutely. You can't imagine that it's going to be too hard for them to get up for this game either, playing in this historic rink. Had the opportunity to play in the Herb Brooks rink yesterday. We're here on the USA Rink today as Paul Smith and Paul Smith probably treated us to one of our most entertaining games, back and forth affair that ended in overtime, but it certainly wasn't a result of Paul Smith's not playing a very good hockey game, most notably number 22, Attila Cannell, his debut, and his coach referred to him as a lethal pickup from the Montreal, Quebec area. He scored 2 goals, was noticeable on the ice. I expect to see a lot of the same from him as well. That top line with him, Colin Palmer, and River Yearwood was the best line for the Bobcats yesterday. I expect more of the same today. And on the other side of the ice with the Widener Pride, Matt Kennedy was the most notable skater for them, in my opinion, number 97 on defense. And they also had a really nice game from number 64, Bobby Catillo, as he had a goal, a very important goal in that third period, and was noticeable over the ice, causing chance after chance after chance. So 2 teams coming off some tough losses, looking for some redemption here, and we're just about to get underway. The Bobcats have taken the ice and are stretching. We are still waiting on Widener to emerge from the locker room. So while we're waiting on that, let's take a look and take a second to acknowledge some of our sponsors that made this broadcast possible. Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility with simulators, lessons, and leagues. Buffalo Golf and Social is Western New York's top destination for year-round practice and instruction. With the great beer and wine selections, it's the perfect place to watch golf with others who love the game. Locations in downtown Buffalo and Orchard Park, New York. Book your next event at Buffalo Golf and Social. By 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. By Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker to buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property. Trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Give them a call at 716-856-2872 or at militello.com. The Widener Pride have taken the ice right now, and it looks like we are getting set for intros and the anthems, as we will do the American and the Canadian anthem. So let's head down to ice level as we meet our starting lineups and play the American and the Canadian national anthems.
Today's game is the 5th game of the Burning Leaves tournament. It is the Silver Division consolation game between the visiting Widener University Pride and today's home team, the Paul Smith College Bobcats. Here are today's starting lineups. First for Widener University. Starting at defense, number 12, Noah Gilbert. At defense, number 97, Matthew Kennedy. Starting at forward, number 44, Danny Mackley. At forward, number 47, Connor Ogborn. At forward, number 64, Bobby Catalo. And starting in goal, number 77, Stone Howard. Widener University is coached by Michael Kennedy and his assistant Matthew Iamuri. And now the starting lineup for the Paul Smith College Bobcats. Starting on defense, a junior from East Falmouth, Massachusetts, number 14, Joe Holloway. On defense, a sophomore from Canandaigua, New York, number 20, Kyle Davis. At forward, a junior from Raleigh, North Carolina, number 8, Zach Thorne. At forward, a freshman from Attleboro, Massachusetts, number 85, Mike Lachance. At forward, a sophomore from Frederick, Maryland, number 16, Ryan James. And then starting goal to the junior from Davison, Michigan, number 35, Nick Van. Paul Smith College is coached by Casey Garish and his assistant, Tommy Cook. Your officiating for today's game, referees are Josh Williams and Trevor White, the linesman, Evan Knox. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to rise if you can, remove your mask
Thank you for that. Tuning back in, we'll head to center ice for the opening face-off momentarily between Paul Smith's College and Widener. Once again, both of these teams took the loss yesterday. This is the Silver Division consolation game, and both of these teams still looking for their first win of the season. Interestingly enough, we saw for Widener starting in net number 77, Stone Hayworth. When I was talking to their head coach, Michael Kennedy, I was told that he is their number one goaltender. But yesterday, Sean, we saw their other two goaltenders, Ryan Sweeney and Dave Marcelino, and we talked a lot about how Sweeney was playing really well.
Out of his mind.
And then they took him out halfway through the game in what was obviously a predetermined move.
Yes, and it's weird. I'm not in the business of questioning coaches at all. That was the strategy for the first game, and that's done all over college hockey. You see it all the time. It's just, it's very unfortunate that Rochester went on a run immediately after that against Widener. And again, that's nobody's fault either. We also want to give credit. There were some really great plays made by the Yellow Jackets there, but that's in the past right now. Like, Hayworth is in net right now, and Widener has a chance with their number one goalie between the pipes tonight to get their first win of the season against a very strong Paul Smith's team, who is hosting this wonderful event for all of us to broadcast, and the teams helping out with us, all of that. So we're about ready for puck drop right here as we have LaChance leaning in to take the face-off against Bobby Cotillo, as it's going to be Paul Smith in their whites attacking left to right, Widener in their road blacks attacking right to left, and we are underway.
Opening draw won by the Bobcats. They'll play it around to the near side. Joseph Bedoin tries to move it up. Turnover. Puck sent on net by Mackley to the slot. Picked off. Now sent up the near boards in front of Paul Smith's net. They gain the zone. It's Ryan Jansen up the near side. He has it taken away by Ryan Zagrocki for Widener, and a short bench for Widener, which we saw in yesterday's game as well. We'll see how that plays because Paul Smith's, they're double-decker in their bench.
Yeah, they have two forward lines and two D pairs on each row of the bench. So yeah, definitely a discrepancy here in bench depth just in terms of player. I don't think Widener's going to mind. Everybody's going to see plenty of ice time right here. But yes, Paul Smith definitely has a full roster out there. They're going to be able to platoon a little more. So that's going to be an interesting chess match to see. But Widener does like to lean heavily on one of their top lines. So that's going to be interesting to see as well, especially early in this game.
And our first whistle of the game comes on a Paul Smith's icing. The faceoff comes on the far dot in their zone. Played out by Paul Smith to center ice. Widener tries to re-enter. It's chipped in at the blue line by Jimmy Wines. Now chasing it down is Fontaine. He plays it out to the point for Catrombone. Puck loose along the near side. Picked up and taken to neutral ice by LaChance. Right at the red line, he sends it on net. Hayworth out of his net to chip it to the near corner as we're a minute into the game here. Widener on the attack again. Nice move with the stick to the slot. Bonsall has it taken off his stick.
What a back check right there by Paul Smith. Two forwards on the puck carrier. No chance after that.
And they turn it right into offense. Parisi with a quick one-time shot from the slot off the feed from Cannell, who was one of their top players, as we said in the pregame yesterday.
Yeah, Hayworth doing a really nice job sliding post to post right there to get his pad on that. He's facing some shots early. Goalies like that a lot of times, though, just to get the blood flowing right off the hop.
And Paul Smith's moving with some pace here on offense, firing another shot. That one deflected wide, picked up again by Cannell. He plays it back around the net. The drop-off pass was off target. Now there's a battle in the corner. Stepping in for Widener is Noah Gilbert. He has it taken away, and Cannell carries it along the near side.
Got a whistle here. What do we got? It's hard to see from our broadcast position what the call is there. It doesn't appear to be a penalty. Or maybe it is. Yep, they got him. They got Gilbert.
I think I saw a hook signaled there on the far side against Gilbert. So 2 minutes just about into this game, and we'll see what Paul Smith has on the power play.
Yeah, Paul Smith definitely brought their legs today. It's kind of tough to see with Widener. They've only kind of found their way into the zone one time here, and there's a great back check that led to a transition opportunity. So Paul Smith gets the early power play to try and work on a 1-0 lead here.
And they win the draw along the blue line. Puck sent right on net by Owen Kime, and the save made by Hayworth, who, like we said, has been forced to work early and often.
We noticed Owen Kime a lot yesterday for the physical play. He laid the first big hit of the tournament, and the crazy thing was he had the puck when he laid the hit, too. He's a noticeable, big, large-skilled defenseman right there, but here comes a chance here for Widener.
Widener on the kill, trying to move it up. They forced the turnover along the Paul Smith blue line, but couldn't hold on to possession, and Cannell will come back the other way for the Bobcats. He gains the zone, carries it down low, puck still on Cannell's stick, trying to set up the offense on the power play. He sends it out to the point for Kime. Kime gives it back to Cannell. Cannell Defended by Castillo. Shot sent on the point by Kime. Sticked wide. Paul Smith again out to Kime at the point.
Doing a really good job keeping possession on the perimeter right here, and they got a screen set in front. They're looking to use it. Oh, that thing had some mustard on it, too. He just missed the far post.
Hansen with a lot of steam on that shot. Went wide on the glove side, though. They're still setting up the offense, are Paul Smiths. Cannell, give and go. Couldn't get the rebound shot. Now Hansen picks up the shot, fires it wide on the stick side. But Paul Smith's putting pressure on, although Widener forces a turnover. They got numbers moving back the other way, shorthanded.
Oh, he overskated it.
Just couldn't hold on to the handle. Zagraki turned it over on what was a golden opportunity, shorthanded. Minute and 15 gone in this power play. Another loose puck in the neutral zone, tapped around. Paul Smith back with possession. They gain the zone. Widener kill, just chips it to neutral ice. 30 seconds left on the penalty to Gilbert. Regrouping is Janarone. He moves it up to Palmer. Palmer gains the line. Carries it down low, sends it to the slot. Couple of bodies there, Widener. Good defense. 10 seconds left on the power play. Scrum and the near side, and a player went down. Whistle blown.
Yeah, there was a hit right there. There was some retaliation. Luckily, it was just a shoving match right there that looked like it might have escalated into more. Is Zagraki going to get out of there without a penalty? He is. Are they only getting one? Are they only getting Paul Smith here?
They've got Dylan Janarone heading to the penalty box. He's pleading his case.
Okay.
And that's going to give us 3 seconds of 4-on-4. And then Widener will have their hand at a power play, which, assuming they win this face-off draw, they'll have help almost immediately.
Not only this, this is something. Yep, this is also it too, though. Yeah, Widener also. Yeah, Widener's going to have reinforcements coming. They can get possession of this face-off here. So.
Bonso plays the draw forward, but Paul Smith's able to clear right, carries it up. Now it's back to 5 skaters for Widener. Out of the box was Gilbert.
Good save.
The short-handed slap shot taken by Sean Wright.
Yeah, Hayworth got a shoulder on that and took it out of play, though. That was a hard slap shot there by Sean Wright. Good shoulder there by Stone Hayworth. He appears to be locked in about 4 minutes into this game. So, yeah, the #1 goaltender for the Widener University Pride. They got him in net, and he's looking sharp so far.
Yeah, certainly. And on the other end, Nicholas Bay hasn't faced a single shot yet for Paul Smith College 4 minutes into the game. Widener on the power play, obviously trying to change that. Although the Bobcats kill, able to send one down. Kennedy kicks it off of his skate and circles around, trying to set up this man advantage with 30 seconds still to go, or 30 seconds in, excuse me, to the penalty against Janarone.
Nope.
Chipped up the far side to Wines. He's over the blue line. Carries it down low. Backhand pass looking for a teammate. Didn't go anywhere, but Wines gets the loose puck back. He carries it out top. Chips it down low along the boards. Right backhands it out, but it's scooped up. Sent on net. First shot of the game taken by Ogborn, and the save made by Bay. Whistle blown, but that puck was loose.
That was an early whistle. I think Paul Smith is going to thank their lucky stars because Zagraki was about to step into a slap shot right there, and he had a wide open net to look at. But a quick whistle by the official right there is going to cause a faceoff coming up to the left of the goaltender Bay.
And a decent power play possession there for Widener, not only able to get that shot on net, but before that, playing physical and fighting for that loose puck along the boards to maintain possession and then set up that opportunity. Fontaine steps in to take the face-off, puck tied up. Stepping in to clear it for Paul Smith is Kyle Davis. He sends it the length of the ice. Hayworth out of his net, backhands it to neutral
that was a
ice.
nice little pass from the goaltender.
Absolutely, and here comes Widener.
Today,
more players tangled up and a whistle blown.
Is that an offsides? Because that happened quick, but I know the forward there kind of threw his hand up like he was being held there, but I think the Widener was offsides. Nope, they got him. They got a slash. That's Colin Palmer, too. That is not somebody Paul Smith wants to see in the box at all, much less right now. So we're going back. We're going to, yep. Widener's going to have a beautiful opportunity right here. They got a 5-on-3 for 45 seconds, so the door is wide open right here for Widener to take advantage.
It's a huge opportunity for them to establish themselves early in this game, obviously still tied up at 0, and 2-man advantage for 45 seconds. Gilbert with plenty of time and space sends it down low. Wines steps in. Wines out top to Gilbert. He shoots through some traffic. A nice save made by Bay.
Oh, that was a good effort right there.
And Mackley unable to
and
keep
it's a
that
glove.
puck in.
Oh, and unfortunately that's a glove pass too because it went to Gilbert. So now that faceoff's going to come all the way into the Widener defensive zone. So that's a tough break right there for Widener. I was wondering why their point men were so far off. You usually want to get up and tight when you're on a 5-on-3 right here. You're kind of doing the penalty killer some favors if you're shooting from distance right there, and that's what can happen.
Yeah, absolutely, and right, he was Mackley was trying to keep that puck in at the blue line with his hand, ended up deflecting it to a teammate, and they lose their zone possession.
15 seconds to go here in the 5-on-3. Let's see if Widener can at least get set up in the zone.
On the near side, it's Cotillo with lots of room. He winds up for a fake slap shot, sends it over to his right for Gilbert, who shoots through traffic, puck loose, settled down, sent across. Bonsall back to Gilbert, thrown in front, puck
Great
loose
look.
in the crease. Never got a shot on net, but Wines was right there in front of Bay. One man out of the box for Paul Smith. That puck bounced right wide of the net on the near post.
Here's the physical play. It was only a matter of time for that. Oh, this is trouble right here.
Absolutely. Cannell out in front, shorthanded.
man.
He's got a little bit of space moving in for Paul Smith as they get a couple of reinforcements off the bench. 50 seconds.
Oh, and that's
on
a
the
smart
penalty.
play by Attila Cannell. He just goes down below and he pins it against the boards to kill some time on this penalty kill. Even if it's 5 seconds, it's still time's a wasted right here on this golden opportunity for Widener.
A couple of new skaters for Widener with 30 seconds to go on the power play. But Paul Smith gets another kill, and they've been pretty effective in that unit so far.
It's been a really, really good penalty kill so far for the Bobcats. Only one pretty dangerous opportunity. The goaltender Bay was well on task for it. Good block right there by the captain, Janarone, too.
Mackley's shot never got through. 12 seconds to go on the power play. And another clear for Paul Smith. Sent the length of the ice by Cannell. One last attempt, breakout pass by Hayworth off target. 2 seconds to go, and we'll be back to 5-on-5. Paul Smith, great job there killing the 5-on-3.
And the icing is waved off on that, too, so we are no face-off, and we are back into the flow of 5-on-5 play.
Menta plays it off the boards in front of his own net to neutral ice. Battle for possession along the blue line, and they were off.
That was either going to be an offsides or a high stick right there, so there was no way that play was going to count. Actually, it's probably better for Widener that it's an offsides because the face-off doesn't come back into their own end.
The draw will come on the far dot of the neutral zone alongside the Paul Smith's blue line. Stepping in for Widener is Ogborn. He loses the draw to Janis. Now Janarone plays it in.
I'm not sure Janarone was aware they were even there because he chipped that in well before the red line.
And another draw for Widener coming down here. And so far in this game, it really has been, both teams still battling for the upper hand, I'd say. Obviously special teams coming into play early with the power play opportunities for both sides, and no opportunities yet capitalized on. Menta with a nice shot. Save made by Bay, who's picked up the action a little bit. And a high stick called.
High stick. That's a high stick and penalty. Okay, the refs brought the whistles today. They're calling everything right now. Granted, they've been the right calls, but yeah, the refs are not letting anything go right here. And Paul Smith will head back to the power play.
And Ogborn to the box for 2 minutes there. And yeah, that's 2 penalties apiece already, not even 8 minutes in to this first period. And interesting to see how, who has the upper hand, who has more discipline in that aspect of the game moving forward. Taking penalties is always something that these teams try to avoid. Paul Smith trying to set up the power play, but it's cleared the length of the ice by Bonsall. And Engel will retrieve it and try and set his offense up once again. Long breakout pass through center ice. Never touched a stick. Goes all the way down. Played at the point, near point, by Schaefer. Thrown in front, puck loose, settled down for a shot, they score!
Really good passing play right there by the Bobcats right there. That is, that's number 24. That's Ukto with the goal right there. Hard to see from our broadcast position here, but the puck finds its way to the front of the net, works around the slot, and it's banged into the open side right there. And Paul Smith on the power play gets a 1-0 lead.
And special teams were bound to be the factor, I think, that broke this game open with so many penalties early in this game. finally able to capitalize on the power play was Paul Smith's. Both teams had opportunities with the man advantage, and right there, just about 20 seconds into that penalty, the high sticking penalty, Paul Smith's able to capitalize and take the 1-0 lead. They're right back on the attack. Shot sent in and deflected over the net from the point by Davis.
So it looks like the Bobcats looking to, get off, kind of get a little bit of a, wouldn't want to say get a monkey off their back, but they broke through right there. Now it looks like they got some pep in their step right now. Looks like they finally got the shackles off and got some legs under them. Let's see if they can compound this and try and go on a run here.
They're setting up possession again after the face-off win. A nice move by Cody to get free. He plays it down below the goal line.
Oh, they wanted to give and go there right there. There
Another
it is.
Great chance by Palmer right in front of Hayworth. Widener trying to break the pressure. They do. Played in by Mackley. Widener's forecheck trying to get to work. Mackley forces the turnover. Stepping in is Cotillo. He looks for a shot. Nice block there by Bedoin. Cody over the line, onside. He passes it off to Yearwood, who shoots, and the save made into the chest of Hayworth. He had a bit of trouble, but able to hold on to it. No rebound there. And like you said, Paul Smith's really starting to pick up the offensive attack, a lot more speed and more shot attempts here as we approach the halfway point of period one.
Yep, and they're starting to pile some shots on right there. It's now 8-3, and we're just a minute shy of the halfway point of this first period. So it'll be interesting to see if Widener can kind of get their legs under him, because since the Widener's 5-on-3, the majority of the play has been played in their defensive end.
Hansen tried to fire a shot from the point, but it's deflected out of the zone by his own teammate, and Kennedy is back for Widener. They move it up the near boards in front of their bench. Over the red line, dumped in by Wines. Widener's forecheck again, down below the goal. They like to work down there. Wines steps in, tries to squirt that loose puck out, but Paul Smith's able to break the pressure, and they have a 2-on-2. Parisi has Cannell to his right. Parisi opts to shoot the backhand, and another nice save by Hayworth.
Good rush right there by the Bobcats as Parisi had Cannell with him. Parisi goes to the backhand and tries to sneak one up under the bar. Good save right there by the goaltender Hayworth as he stays right with the puck carrier, doesn't get his eyes crossed by the weaving switch right there. Holds on for the faceoff as we're going to get another defensive zone draw.
And Paul Smith's just piling up these shot opportunities, now 9-3, and we're not even at the halfway point yet. The Bobcats play it in. Kennedy back for Widener. Scooped up by Hansen. He dumps it to the far corner. Zagrocki back. He rings it around the boards. Cotillo steps in. Paul Smith's forecheck here, working hard to keep this puck in the zone. Hansen at the point steps in for possession. He moves to the shot. Ooh. Just misses that near top corner with a nice snapshot.
Yeah, that corner was picked too. He just missed that shot.
Hayworth had his glove up, but I'm not sure if he would have gotten in the right spot if that shot was on net. A turnover right in front of the net. A spinning shot sent on by Palmer, but they were offsides, luckily for Widener. We have a stoppage again. Janice complaining about the offsides. The ref stepping in to...
Ref doesn't seem to be wanting to hear much of any of that.
Opportunity for Widener now with the ozone faceoff to reestablish their offense, because it's been all Paul Smith's in the last few minutes, especially in terms of possession and shot attempts. Bonsall takes a big hit right in front of our broadcast position. Fontaine trying to clear up some space, but Paul Smith's all over him. Played out to the slot, no one there, and Paul Smith moves back the other way. It's Janis. He plays it over the line. LaChance putting pressure on the forecheck. It's backhanded out to the point by Bonsall. Kept in by Janarone. Played out again by Widener, but Paul Smith controls the puck. Time off the boards, out of the reach of Thorin. LaChance picks it up. He moves on the far side to the slot for Thorin. He tries a backhand, pad save by Hayworth. He gets it back, Thorin does, tries another backhander. And a stoppage for interference now.
Yeah, discipline has not been a key factor for either team to start this game here. That's our 6th penalty of the first period so far. And Widener doesn't want to play this game right now with Paul Smith. You keep putting them on the power play, you're already down, and they've dominated possession so far. So really, Widener really needs to tighten up in their own end and start playing in the Paul Smith's end, because the ice is definitely tilted for the Bobcats.
And that's Noah Gilbert on the penalty. He's
That's
already a
second
repeat offender, and we have 8.5 minutes to go in the first. Power play draw 1, and a quick shot taken by Wright off the faceoff, saved by Hayworth. Widener able to get the kill. Engel regrouping on the power play for Paul Smith. Obviously, that's how they got their first goal of the game. Engel with lots of room moves over the line. He shoots quickly. Another pad save by Hayworth. Clean look, though. Widener able to force the turnover. Catillo moving in, shorthanded. He plays it, just taps it on net. It's batted aside by Bay, and Paul Smith is going to move back the other way with room and speed. It's Wright. Wright tries to shoot. Nice block there, but it makes its way to a teammate, and that shot is fired high by Ukta, who had that first goal on that power play. Widener trying to clear, but puck sent right to the slot. Wright tries to get a shot off, unable to do so. Loose puck sent down the ice by Catillo, and we're inside of 1 minute to go on this power play. Davis moves it up to the red line. Nice play by Bonsall to back him off the puck.
That's a huge hit, but not
and then
the
Ukta
right team.
delivers a huge hit to his own teammate along the blue line.
That worked out. That's a breakout, so I guess it worked, but I don't think that's the way they drew that up.
Hayworth out of his net to play the puck. Pressure in front of him, but he is able to get it to neutral ice, and we have 30 seconds now to go. On the penalty or turnover, Wine steps in and just loses the reach of it.
There might have been a hook right there.
That was almost a crucial turnover committed by Paul Smith's number 14, Bedoyan. Eight seconds to go on the Paul Smith's power play. Wines with another nice stick. That time he gets it up to a teammate in Bonsall, but too many moves. And it's back to even strength. Good kill there for Widener. They had a couple of chances in their own end. Right back to even strength. Paul Smith's not laying off the gas pedal, as a nice shot taken there by Palmer. Saved out of play by Hayworth. And the shot total on the board says 9, but it's at least 11 by now.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, Paul Smith has pretty much had all of the momentum. A few rushes here to threaten early just there by Widener, but none of the shots really found their way to the net. Widener's got to start testing Bay right here. I mean, he is getting chilly right now, but I mean, Paul Smith is just putting the Widener defensive goaltender under duress.
Great look by Stouffer in front of the net off that face-off win, and that's been a huge factor as well for Paul Smith, the ability to win offensive zone draws and set up their offense quickly. That's how they scored that power play. They had another great look right there. But now for Widener, here comes Mackley. He settles it down on the near side, tries to send a shot, but it's blocked by Stouffer. Battle along the blue line. It's moved up by Cannell. He gains the zone. Nice pass. Shot by Parisi, and a great save by Hayworth. Wow. Nice rush with speed for Paul Smith.
Good speed through the neutral zone from Attila Cannell. He has been dangerous, to say the very least. Feathers a nice pass over to Parisi, and Parisi puts a really nice shot on net. But the goaltender, Hayworth, slides over nicely to his glove side, makes a great save on that 2-on-1, and keeps it a 1-0 Bobcats lead.
And that's one of the few things Widener really has done well tonight, is the goaltending. And we talked about how Stone Hayworth is their number one guy, and he's looking like it so far. You know, already saved 12 of 13 shots, and so much hockey still left to be played today. It's Engel at the point for Paul Smith. He plays it down low for Thorin. Wrapped around the boards. Jansen from his knees tries to move it to the far side. Paul Smith's working the puck down low very well. Now out to the point up high for Janarone. He's bodied off the puck by Bonsall. Makes its way back down behind Hayworth's net. And Paul Smith's tries to keep it in. They do at the blue line. Sent down low again. That time it's Zagraki for Widener, attempting to clear around the boards. But Paul Smith's forecheck doing a good job to make things sloppy in the Widener zone. Finally a clear for Widener. That pass out top sent right back out of play over the glass.
I think he hit a wedge when I went to hit a 4-iron there.
Absolutely. That thing had a little bit of altitude. Right idea from Engel from neutral ice, trying to send that in. but just a little bit too much height, and we'll get a neutral zone face-off. Looks like right at center ice. Widener controls it, but Paul Smith has 3 players along the blue line, and they're able to win back possession. Bedoin, cross ice to Davis. He carries it over the red line, gains the zone, goes down, flips it on net. Hayworth just taps it to settle it down behind his net. For Widener, Mackley chasing it down in the corner alongside Catrombone. Puck loose, bounced over the net in front of Hayworth. Luckily for him, no Paul Smith's players were there, and then after that play, the net comes off, so a little bit of a scrum down in Widener's end, and that's gonna slow things down.
Sure is, yep. We had a lot of whistles this first period, which is something we did not deal with much yesterday. Pace of play was definitely at a high level here. A few penalties, a few little skirmishes here, so yeah, but again, just a 1-0 Paul Smith's lead. Game's still in reach, but Widener's got to start playing in their offensive zone.
Still just 5 shots for Widener compared to 12 from Paul Smith. And another face-off in the Widener end. This time they're able to win it, but Paul Smith is all over that puck down low. A couple of bodies tangled up down there, and I think we have a holding called.
Yeah, more post-whistle discussion
penalties
as well. Yep. These teams don't seem to like each other very much, Ryan.
And now I think they got Widener for a possible retaliation as well after the play.
That's not wise at all. They got 2 guys. They got Wright and they got Zagraki.
They
Zagraki
have not hesitated to blow those whistles.
Yeah, Wright was just following him to the box. I'm not sure I would do that after a player just got a penalty, but at the same time, we're going to skate forward side again.
And really just, foolishness on both sides. To take that penalty in the offensive zone for Paul Smith is obviously a mistake. And then for Widener, you're going to the power play, you're down a goal, and you give a guy a tap after the play and set yourself back. It's hard to it's hard to justify that.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. The bigger flex would be scoring on the power play instead of giving the guy a tap after a whistle. That's just me.
So we have it currently as 4-on-4 as the 4th skater for Widener comes off the bench. Paul Smith wins that draw clean out to the point. Bedoin tries to send one on. Blocked at the point by Cotillo. He's a little banged up. Trying to shake that one off. Never a good feeling. Widener breaking it out. Cotillo with a nice outlet pass. Too many moves, though, by Mackley as he gains the zone and turns it right over. Palmer gives it up. Yearwood at the blue line.
I'm not sure how Cotillo didn't get called for a slash right there.
Wrapped around the boards by Palmer as Hansen comes off the bench alongside Kime for Paul Smiths. Mackley sends it in.
Yeah, 4-on-4, yep, so that's icing. There was a collision on the far wall here, and then just a Widener player, I wasn't able to see who that was, just kind of sent the puck all the way down the ice. That's going to be an icing and another offensive zone draw for the Bobcats.
And we've seen so many of those in this first period already. Paul Smith's controlling, like you said, tilting the ice where the game is being played. If we had a heat map of where the ice is being played, it would all be red on the right side of your screen. As there's another quick face-off win, another quick shot by Hansen, and right into the chest of Hayworth, who's been very sharp in this first period.
Hayworth has, I don't think it's overstating to say that Hayworth's probably been the best player on the ice for either team in this first period.
He's certainly kept his team in the game despite, the barrage of shots that he's faced from Paul Smith, and at even strength still has not allowed a goal. Still at even strength right here, although it's a 4-on-4, a little bit different. Paul Smith trying to set up the offense with extra room, which is only going to help them in their efficient passing attack.
Yeah, that's something you definitely want to see Paul Smith try to take advantage of too, just because Widener does have that short bench, so you would want to try and skate these guys and, kind of try and burn some of that rubber on them. But Widener actually doing a nice job, but it's almost like they're on a penalty kill right now.
It certainly seems like it. They are able to just keep the zone momentarily.
Oh. What just happened?
And another penalty against Widener. Now it's Jimmy Wines for a trip.
I don't know what's going on here. I mean, that didn't seem necessary at all. Widener is doing themselves absolutely no favors right now. I mean, they're not having any time in the zone, and they're taking a lot of penalties. They say tripping is one of the worst penalties to take. There's no reason to take it. And, I mean, eventually with this Paul Smith team, if you crack the door and continue to do it, eventually they're going to kick it in.
Yeah, certainly. And penalties really have been the story of the game so far. They've controlled the action, and Paul Smith has had the upper hand with the power play. Here they are again. Engel with a shot. Another nice save by Hayworth. He's really, the only reason that this game is close right now.
And a high stick. So
my goodness.
Yeah, so this face-off's going to go into the Paul Smith defensive zone now.
And it's so interesting seeing the number of penalties in this game and the number of, what we might call mistakes, just because yesterday's games I thought were surprisingly well executed,
I mean, especially
given the first game of the season.
Especially the Paul Smith-Hofstra game. That was an absolute, that was a great hockey game. Ooh!
Off the shorthanded draw, Ogborn fires a shot on net, and the rebound was loose there on the save by Bay.
I feel like Bay's going to want to see some shots, too, before he gets cold. I mean, that was the first shot he's seen in about 7 minutes of game time.
Exactly, and the shots are now over 2-1 in favor of Paul Smith's 13-7, or 13-6, excuse me.
Yeah, you're going to have a real hard time winning games that way. Oh, that was a dangerous pass right there. Great effort, though, by Zagraki to get down there.
Absolutely. This is what you want to see on the penalty kill, especially.
And a tackle. And, yep, everybody watches 89 to make sure he didn't do anything after that play right here. Oh, here he comes on the back check.
Yeah, play getting physical.
And he took another penalty. He took a slash.
Oh, my goodness. I saw him swing the stick. I wasn't sure if they were going to call that.
As soon as he got up, I saw that coming a mile away.
You said it before he did it. Everybody's watching 89.
As soon as he got up and started skating after, I saw that two-hand coming from a mile away.
Gosh.
I don't know what he could possibly be arguing about right now.
That really was clear as day. And like you said, everybody was waiting for him to retaliate.
Zagraki's a nice player too. He had a nice game yesterday, but you could just see it in his face. Like that was inevitable as soon as he got up.
And I've lost track, but I think we're approaching double-digit penalties.
We're well past double digits. I think we're at 12 right now.
And now Paul Smith takes a timeout.
I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. I don't hate this at all. Just something. This game needs to settle down.
Yes,
and the whole thing.
They're going to be setting up the 5-on-3 now, which we saw Widener had a 5-on-3.
And again, these Widener, they are doing. I'm really not trying to speak ill of anybody, but Widener is doing no favors for themselves right now. After the whistle, tripping penalties, slashing, and on top of that, Ryan, no ref will ever admit this, but I think we know this as hockey fans and players. The more you argue with the ref, the less likely it becomes that you get anything called in your favor in the future.
Yes, sir, and especially if you're angry and
Aaron
upset with the
Alpern's sitting next to me chuckling right now because he knows this as well as anybody.
Yeah, it's very true, and I think that's a great timeout by Paul Smith here to settle down.
This game needs to chill.
They need to take control of this game.
Both teams need to just calm down. I mean, honestly, you would not to be. I mean, we've all played sports. I mean, I feel like there's more nerves and butterflies in this game than there were in the first game, which is interesting. But this is what it feels like. Teams that aren't familiar with each other. A lot of penalties, a lot of whistles. Just need to maybe settle down, maybe just get out of this period and hit the reset button.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Right now, Paul Smith has a 5-on-3, and I think they would love to do something with that.
Yeah, they need this opportunity because they've been playing so well in this game. That one goes off the post.
There was some frustration let out on that shot, and that poor post. I think I see a tear streaming down the side of that post.
Those posts have gotten some pretty serious work this weekend.
Yeah, what did the post do to anybody today? They've just been beaten on.
I think Parisi was offsides out on the near side.
I think the official just gave the definition of offsides to a bench. One bench laughed, the other did not.
Stouffer steps in to take the 5-on-3 draw against Cotillo. That's a big win by Cotillo. And Widener able to get the clear.
Look out.
On net.
We've seen weird stuff like that happen this weekend. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Like we said, here in Lake Placid.
And that was the most work Bay's had in the last 5 minutes.
That's very true. Still 15 seconds to go on this 5-on-3. Paul Smith setting it up. Davis over to Cannell. He's always dangerous with the puck. Back to Davis. 5 seconds on the 5-on-3. Pass intercepted by Ogborn. Now one man out of the box. It's Wines for Widener. 45 seconds in the period. And 1 minute to go on the power play for Paul Smiths. Cannell over the line. He looks to shoot. Nice
Good
defense. Has it taken away by Ogborn, who's had a great shift.
Ogborn's had a
Penalty
really
killing.
nice tournament. He's been noticeable for this Widener University team.
And it's poked away by Brubaker. He dumps it in. .20 seconds to go in the period. We'll see if Paul Smith has one more rush with this man advantage. Still 30 seconds on their power play, so it would carry over to period 2 if they don't score here in the last 10 seconds. Over the line, Stouffer tries a shot. It's blocked. Couple players tangled up after the play again. Got to be careful. Widener gets one more dump, and that'll do it for period 1. It's 1-0 Paul Smiths after 20 minutes of play, but an extremely contentious, I would say, first period. So many penalties. And really for Paul Smiths, with the amount of power play time that they had, only one goal. I think there were definitely a couple of opportunities left out there.
Yeah, I don't think it's much of a stretch to say that Paul Smith was the better team in that period, but I think Paul Smith would even tell you there's a lot they'd like to clean up. Widener, everything's fine. It's just 1-0. You've killed a bunch of penalties. That was not a good period for Widener. I think every player on that team will tell you that. They're good. They get out of there down 1-0. They're going to get a chance to just hit the reset button and come out strong for the second period.
Yes, certainly. So we'll be rejoining you here from Lake Placid for period number 2. We'll head to intermission after a few messages from our sponsors.
Thank you very much, Ryan, as this broadcast is made possible by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's top indoor golf facility with simulators, lessons, and leagues. Buffalo Golf and Social is Western New York's top destination for year-round practice and instruction. With a great beer and wine selection, this is the perfect place to watch golf with others who love the game. With locations in downtown Buffalo and Orchard Park, New York, book your next event at Buffalo Golf and Social. By 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. By Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker to buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property. Trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Give them a call at 716-856-2872 or at militello.com. By the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowner, and business and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency, providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. Give them a call at 716-675-5700 to see how they can provide you that same peace of mind. And finally, by Envious Gameware, designers of high-end custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Allow Envious Gameware to give your team the look to be envious of. That's going to do it after one period, with the Paul Smiths Bobcats leading the Widener University Pride 1-0. This is the Nickel City Hockey Network, Western New York's new broadcast home for amateur hockey. We'll be back with the second period after this. And welcome back to the Lake Placid Olympic Center, the USA Rink, for second period action of day 2 of the Paul Smith's first annual Burning Leaves tournament. I'm Sean McHugh, alongside Ryan Tantillo, live from the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solution. After 20 minutes of play, it is 1-0 in favor of the Paul Smith's Bobcats after what our play-by-play man Ryan Tantillo described as a contentious period with 12 penalties, 1 still hanging over, and just a lot of post-whistle, a lot of whistles, a lot of offsides, a little bit of a sloppy hockey period. But we're ready to start. And before we get going, second period coverage is brought to you by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's top destination for year-round practice and instruction, with locations in downtown Buffalo and Orchard Park, New York. We are going to send it to play-by-play man Ryan Tantillo as we get ready to start the second period.
Thank you, Sean. And like you said, I think a contentious first period, and it was dominated by the penalties, and that's something that's already carrying over to period number 2 because we have 18 seconds to go on that penalty to Ryan Zagraki of Widener. Just, really a lot of disciplinary issues on both sides that A, slowed down the pace, and I think B, really allowed Paul Smith to establish themselves as the more dominant team, although with the score being 1-0, it doesn't reflect, I think, how well Paul Smith's played in that first period, outshooting Widener 13-7 as we enter the second.
Yeah, but Widener gets a chance to hit the reset button on a rough period for them, but they are only down 1-0, due mostly in large part to their starting goaltender, Stone Hayworth. He has been excellent to start this game, and now we are underway with a fresh sheet of ice to see if fortunes can switch or if we're going to get a lot of the same. And
it's back to even strength now for Widener. They get a shot right off the bat by Danny Mackley, a save made by Nicholas Bay, who hasn't really seen much early in this game, just 8 saves on 8 shots. Hasn't really been forced to work much by this Widener offense. I think that has to be a point of emphasis for them. And tough play by Hayward there.
That handcuffed him. Lucky he got his blocker down because that puck was moving quick and was sliding.
His blocker just clipped that one, keeping it out of the net. Able to go back the other way. Coutinho winds up for a big slap shot. Another save made by
that's what
Bay.
Bay wants too.
Right, get him in a rhythm with those easier saves. He's able to see him and everything.
Hard shot there, absolutely. Good hard shot, but no screen in front. No one going to the net, and no rebound was allowed right there.
But for Widener as well, like we said, you got to get that goaltender who is uncomfortable, continue making him work and setting up your offense in that zone. Zagraki playing it along the boards to Bonsall, chipping it down low. Bonsall gets it back. He looks for a shot, rips it wide, rattles around the boards to the point, sent back around by Gilbert, and out of the reach of Bonsall as Paul Smith comes back the other way. They gain the zone to the near side for Ukta, who has that first goal. Plenty of time to shoot into the chest of Hayworth, and he grabs the rebound to stop what was a nice opportunity for Paul Smith's.
Yeah, Hayworth again, strong in his paint right there. Really good shot. A lot of time to load that shot up. Got a lot of velocity on it. I think the play was for a rebound. Got a little up high on there as the goaltender Hayworth was able to kind of swallow that into his chest pad. But again, good opportunity and a good rush there by the Bobcats.
Right. If you can keep that shot low and then have it rebound off the pads to somebody in front of the net, I think that's the strategy. That's the recipe for success. But great job by Hayworth controlling that rebound to make sure that secondary option was not viable for Paul Smith's.
That chip play is interesting right here for Paul Smith. They've gone to that a couple times in the second period, and it's worked. So
Schaefer takes a quick shot.
Let's see if maybe Paul Smith starts to utilize that rainbow chip play for their breakouts.
And we saw in their game yesterday against Hofstra, they used a lot of those long stretch passes, breakout passes, kind of stretching out the defense and getting ahead of the play. I don't want to say cherry picking, but that kind of strategy.
No, they weren't cherry picking because they would start in their defensive zone, but the set play was almost like what the Bills' offense looks like, whether you like that or not. Just verticals right up the sideline and see if you can get somebody behind a defenseman. And it worked. It worked in the beginning. Hofstra was wise to that, but let's see if Paul Smith tries to get back to that a little bit in this game. They didn't do much of that in the first period.
And I think that says a lot about the way they trust their team, already to kind of play together and make sure people get back, when that play happens. That says a lot about their coaching, I think, as well. Clearly a poised team. They played great yesterday against a tough opponent, and they have the lead right now in this consolation game of the silver division here at the Burning Leaves tournament. Widener with some forecheck pressure, able to force a turnover down low, but Menta lost his footing, flipped out of play in the defensive zone of Paul Smith's, and that puck will stay down there. No delay of game yet at this level like we talked about yesterday.
Not with that. I think if the skater shoots it out from inside their blue line, that is not a delay of game like it is at other levels. So it's just going to be a face-off.
Paul Smith controls that draw. They move it up with some speed over the line. Thorin carries it himself down low. Battle in the corner, sent out in front, out of the reach of LaChance.
Could be trouble if he looks. Oh, he didn't. Oh, my goodness. He didn't notice he had numbers.
Yeah, Mackley had two teammates to his left, but they were just a bit behind him. He never saw, opted instead to dump that puck in, although his team, Widener, still able to set up some kind of offense down low.
They got possession out of it, so it worked.
Puck makes its way to the near boards. Couple of back checkers for Paul Smith there. They force the turnover. LaChance over the line. He just sends one on net, sticked aside by Hayworth. Bodies flying early.
There's a slash that didn't get called, okay.
And the officials were not hesitant to blow those whistles in the first.
I don't think any of them saw it.
Maybe it's for the best.
Okay.
More bodies flying. Paul Smith's
good
on the
defensive
attack.
play right there by Gilbert.
Great way to dive in front of that centering pass. Two Bobcats were streaking to the front of the net.
Oh.
Now out top in the slot. Davis had a bit of trouble hanging on to that pass. He had a lot of room. Sends it down low to Palmer instead. Thrown to the slot again. Puck loose in front of Hayworth. He's trying to dive on top of it. A spinning shot on that loose puck by Palmer goes wide. Davis out top now. Dumps it around. Cody's the first one there. He plays it to the far side for Palmer. Has trouble regaining it. Now out to the point. Palmer along the boards. Moving in from the circle. He shoots. Saved by Hayworth, who loses his stick.
That got the last part of his pad before it found its way in. That was a really nice save there by Hayworth.
And Zagraki tried to clear it. Ended up going the length of the ice. And will come right back down.
Oh, look
to
at
the
this.
Near dot
You
in
got
front
some
of Hayworth.
Widener players hunched over there, sucking wind right now. So, yep. Yeah, this is Paul Smith. This is a big face-off because they've got some pressure right now. And they've got a very tired group of Widener University Pride players out there.
And now a 10-shot advantage for Paul Smith, 19-9. They win another face-off in the offensive zone. Quickly, a shot that was deflected. Hayworth settles it down, makes the save. Puck loose. Widener tries to carry it out. They clear the zone momentarily. It's tapped back in by Davis. Gilbert was down for a moment after the play.
Oh, man,
Paul Smith still on the attack.
Bodies are just falling everywhere right now.
Widener able to clear that one.
That's
It's
gonna
going to
be
go wide
icing.
to the net. Another bad break.
Oh, boy.
And they are feeling it. Gilbert shaking up after a hit in
At
his
what
own
point
end.
do you call your timeout?
And we saw Paul
they're not
Smith use
even-
their timeout early.
Yeah, they are. I'm tired for them right now. That's how long they've been out there, and they've been under siege right now. Yep, and now they get the line change. And yep, no surprise there. They got Cannell out there in a shooting position.
Yep, he's waiting for that puck right off the draw. It's played forward by Stouffer. Out to Keim on the near side. Shot blocked, chipped out to neutral ice by Mackley. But Widener unable to get
Delayed
a change. moment
offsides.
being.
Widener has to connect on this pass right here.
Huge breakout for Widener. Played along the boards and chipped in. Couple guys head to the bench for them.
Oh, you can feel the relief, them getting that change.
They were in a vice there for Paul Smith for the last couple of minutes and finally able to reset a little bit. Cannell, nice centering pass. Stouffer one-timer. Blows it high over the head of Hayworth.
Had a good look right there. Opted for the slap shot and blew it right over the crossbar.
Beautifully set up play, though, with the pass by Cannell, and he demands so much attention when he does pass the puck. His teammates, I'm sure, appreciate it.
And, yep, and people get open because, like you said, all eyes are on 22 when he's out there.
Fontaine trying to set up the Widener offense. His centering pass can't get through the body of Keim. Widener again. Shot ripped up close by Bonsall, and a nice save by Bay, who has had a little bit more action here in the second period, but still not a ton.
He's made the saves they've asked him to make so far, though, and again, it's 1-0, so the next one ties it for Widener, so Bay's got to be on his game when he does face shots right there. That shot came from a high-danger opportunity. Good save there by the Widener goaltender, by the Paul Smith goaltender.
And Widener's going to need more of that, more sustained possession as they try and claw back. Obviously not a large deficit, but just the way this game is being played right now, it feels like it should be a larger Paul Smith's lead. And the shot differential is what stands out to me at 20-10 right now.
Here we go.
And here's Paul Smith moving in right. Nice shot, but right into the chest of Hayworth. He had a ton of room. And if that's going to continue to be there for Paul Smith, you got to expect that some of those are eventually going to find the back of the net.
Yeah, you don't want to give those opportunities right there. And again, really hard shot right there. But again, Stone Hayworth right on top of his crease right there, swallowing the wrist shot, no rebound. But we do have an offensive zone face-off, and Paul Smith is continuing where they left off in the second half of the first period, playing mostly in the Widener offensive end.
And another huge face-off win. Puck sent up close. Widener scores on the rebound.
There's the celly into the student section by Wright, as finally, after all that work, a beautiful shot from the point, a rebound in front, and Wright makes no mistake right there, and he buries one, and Paul Smith gets a 2-0 lead.
And like I said, that's going to be there all day. Eventually, you got to think that they're going to capitalize on it. A huge face-off win in the offensive zone. Played out to the point. A nice save on that initial shot by Hayworth, but multiple Paul Smith players right in front of the net, and Wright able to finish it. And now after the play, the officials are finally, they finally found their whistles in the second period, sending, I believe that's Stouffer to the penalty box.
Yeah, see what they got him for. They get him for taunting, and they get him for unsportsmanlike, or they get him for roughing. You may never know. So I guess the goal doesn't come at a cost here for Paul Smith right now, as Widener's going to get a chance to get it back. But again, Paul Smith finally breaks through after scoring early, and they take a 2-0 lead. Some conversation going on at the bench right here.
And Paul Smith's looking for 5 skaters, it appears. So that penalty potentially not going up on the board. Yeah, so it stays 5-on-5 despite the penalty to Stouffer. I guess because it was after the play. Paul Smith's adding on to their lead here, goal in each period so far, just about 7 minutes into the second. Widener needing an answer now more than ever as this shot deficit and this score deficit continues to build. Delayed penalty coming.
Another penalty.
The referees found their whistles just like the first period. It took a little bit in this second, but they found them. This time against Widener. Jacob Poole heads to the box.
And there goes that penalty. And there goes that power play. And we're going to go back to 4-on-4 with Paul Smith having a 2-0 lead. Oh. Oh, excuse me. It's going to be a power play for Paul Smith. That's my mistake.
So that penalty after Wright's goal against Paul Smith didn't go up on the board. They maintained 5 skaters. So now that Widener has occurred a penalty, it becomes a Paul Smith power play.
Yes. Paul Smith has a guy in the box, and I think they just gave him a 10 versus a minor.
Janis with a quick shot off that faceoff, and those faceoff wins are so crucial for Paul Smith. That's where they've set up their offense tonight. That's what's allowed them to get those 2 goals. Those quick shots off the draw wins before the defense can get established. We saw that the first time they had the power play when they scored. Here they are again on the power play doing the exact same thing. Thorin over the line. He's got so much room with that extra skater. Loses the puck and gets tied up with Zagraki, but Widener's unable to clear it. Janis stepped in for it, but couldn't maintain possession, and now Mackley dumps it in. And another whistle and another stoppage.
Opened up a little bit to start the period. We're getting back to the icings and the whistles again here as Paul Smith looks to take advantage of another power play to try and add to this lead. So let's see. We got the faceoff coming up at center ice between Palmer and Palmer gets it, but Widener is going to take possession of the faceoff.
And Bonsall tried to send it to the slot for Wines, shorthanded, trying to set up some offense. Unable to do so. And Paul Smith carries it out. Davis circles, sends it over to his line mate, Badoin. So much movement with this Paul Smith offense. Nobody's standing in one place. Nice clear there by Zagraki from his own end. Halfway through this power play. They gain the zone. Yearwood tangled up with Bonsall. He gets it over to his teammate. Circling behind the net is Palmer. Dumps it off to Cody. Palmer wasn't really ready for that shot in the circle. Kime steps in for a big shot, and another nice save for Hayworth, who's now faced 24 shots, and we're not even halfway through.
Yeah, Hayworth has been spectacular. Like 22 saves on 24 shots. Didn't really have a chance on either of the goals he allowed. And again, Paul Smith on this power play continuing to just absolutely pepper the Widener goaltender with shots. Got to start playing in the offensive zone if you're Widener, but it just hasn't happened yet so far.
Another win for Paul Smith. They've dominated that faceoff circle, especially in Widener's end. Yearwood trying to set something up. Cody steps in, played around. Palmer's going to get there first. He has a little bit of trouble with his footing there. Loses control. Opportunity for Widener to clear. Kennedy gets it halfway out, and Cotillo scoops it up and does the rest, carrying it down to Paul Smith's end. 5 seconds to go on the power play. And looks like Widener's going to have a successful kill here as they're back to even strength. Right out of the box comes Poole,
and he's going
gonna
right,
go right
back to the
in.
box. And what are you doing?
Oh, my goodness. He wasn't out of the box for more than 2 seconds.
He still had one of his skates in the box when he tripped him.
I don't think they ever closed the door behind him.
Is he arguing here? Are they arguing? Like, I'm mind blown by that. I don't know what would possess anybody to just do that. But again, Paul Smith goes pretty much. Their power play wasn't even barely over with, and now they're heading right back.
It's really, I don't know what the word is, but just such a different type of game than we've seen. So many more mental mistakes than we've seen throughout any of the first 4 games of this tournament. Day 2 has so far been off to a start. Just so many whistles, so many stoppages, penalties. It's hard to explain. You come right out of the box if you're Poole and stick your stick right into somebody's skates. It's mind-blowing. And Paul Smith's, they've looked real sharp on this power play, despite just the 1 goal on what's now been, I think, half a dozen chances. But the opportunities are there for them. They just got to continue to pepper Hayworth. And if you're Widener, even though you've only allowed 2 goals tonight, you have to imagine that, this offense is not going to slow down anytime soon for Paul Smith. Cannell moves it down low. Out top for Generone to the far side. Quick fire from Engel, and another save by Hayworth, who's he's been busy.
He sure has. And again, Paul Smith continuing to cycle around the perimeter, looking to just continue to pepper Hayworth with shots right here as we're about halfway through the second period, as the shot total is 25-10. It's getting out of control right now for Paul Smith, to be completely honest.
And just 1 shot for Widener in this period. They came in with 9. It was 9-9. So in the second period, shot differential 16-1. That's not going to win you very many hockey games.
You're not going to win hardly ever with that.
Generone with a quick shot, sticked in the slot, out of play behind Hayworth. And this game just continues to kind of stop and start. We'll go right back to that dot.
Yeah, the whistles, it opened up a little bit. Then right after Paul Smith got their goal, the whistle started coming again. So we'll see if we can maybe find some flow in this game in the second half of this second period.
Widener able to control that faceoff, but they turn it right over. Engel out top. Nice pass to Cannell's tape. He's so dangerous facilitating the offense with that puck. Sends it down to Parisi. Has a little bit of trouble with it, but he ends up with possession. Sends it to Generone. They throw it in front. Stouffer tries a shot. He was bodied up. Nice
good play.
Keep in at the line by Engel with the glove. He sends it on net. And a blocker save out of play. Stouffer was right there screening Hayworth, but Hayworth able to make the save, and he's been outstanding tonight.
Well, we know why he's their number 1. I mean, he's the first star of the game so far, in my opinion. So he has been out of his mind. I mean, 25 saves on 27 shots. That's a good game. We're halfway through it. He's well on pace to see almost 60 shots.
And at this rate, the opposing netminder, Nicholas Bay, is probably not going to get to that number of shots with the way Widener's offense has struggled to get down on the offensive end.
It could happen, sure, but yeah, right now I don't know about that.
And honestly, if you're Paul Smith, I don't think you could be very happy with this score right now because you played so well.
No, they're running into a hot goaltender, though, so they don't need to change anything. Just keep shooting.
Exactly. Yeah, they've outplayed Widener for just about the entirety of the first half of this game, and it continues right here as they carry it in.
Oh, that'll wake you up.
Delivered by Ogborn.
Yep. Cody tried the cute little dangle, and Ogborn was having none of that.
That's got to be something to fire them up. Ogborn's still on the ice. down in the offensive zone trying to set up the offense. He gets the puck, throws it to the slot. He had a man in front in Mackley. Rebound loose, they score!
There it is.
Widener answers.
That is Wines right there. The puck comes across in the slot, shows some great patience, goes to his backhand, puts it right over the goaltender's pad, and Widener cuts the lead in half, and they get exactly what they needed right there, finally breaking through on just their 11th shot of the game.
And it really came on the same shift as that big hit. You have to wonder if that helps fire up your team a little bit. You go back down the ice, throw some pucks on net, battle in front, couple of chances. Ogborn threw one in front, Mackley was there, and then finally Wines picked it up and stuffed it top shelf with the backhand. That's exactly what they needed, and despite this incredibly lopsided shot total, still just their 2 shots in the second period for Widener. It's only a 1-goal game, and that's the beautiful thing about hockey sometimes is you can get thoroughly outplayed and still stay in the game.
Yeah, you can't do that, though.
Oh, my goodness. Hayworth is diving all over that crease to keep that puck out. Another save with the blocker, but Paul Smith is all over him. Janis
that was
with
late.
a nice shot, and the net came off. But, oh, my goodness, this game is just
That was nuts.
chaotic.
Kennedy was literally sprawled out inside the net trying to protect because the scramble was that intense.
It certainly was. Hayworth was all over the place, made multiple acrobatic saves. His defenseman in front of him putting his body on the line to get in front of that puck.
But the effort's been there for Widener. That goes without saying.
Yeah, certainly, and that's what they need in a game like this when Paul Smith has been the more well-oiled team. You know, Widener's going to have to win the scrappiness. Here they come back the other way. Mackley still on the ice. He was part of that combination of scorers, as was Ogborn. Damon Bonsall steps up to pinch in the corner. Bonsall wins control. He throws it in front. Mackley was there looking at a lot of twine in front of him, but couldn't get the shot off. Here comes Janis. Just misses on the far post.
That's off.
Net comes back again. The officials able to step in and put it back on without stopping play.
Yeah, wholesale change here for Paul Smith. So Owen Kime is leading the forecheck right here. They got Palmer backing him up on D.
Here's Wines, the goal scorer. He dumps it off for Bonsall. Bonsall looks to shoot. He does, gloved out of the air by Bay, who's definitely been forced to work a little bit more in the last couple of minutes than he has all game.
Yeah, Bay's getting some work here. He's faced a few shots and some scrambles in front. So Widener, they get a big hit, they get a goal. That, like you said, Ryan, that could be something they need to kind of wake up and, get going here. Back to a 1-goal game here in plenty of time.
Yeah, still plenty of time. And Widener, right in this. They have momentum right now. What happened before that point really is not that relevant. What matters is how they keep up with Paul Smith for the remaining period in 6 minutes.
Let's see. Oh, he beat it.
Bonsall gets down there, and he gets sent to the ground.
And he paid for it.
Paul Smith clears it right back out, settled down in neutral ice. It was going to take a long time for them to get back on, and Paul Smith's able to maintain control. In neutral ice, puck sent on. That time Paul Smith was off, so Widener will have a second to regroup and carry it up the near boards. Yearwood keeps it in at the blue line for Paul Smith. Palmer with a backhand pass, had Cody streaking in the slot, but couldn't get to him. Couple of bodies on top of that puck. That was Menta, and then Fontaine delivers a big hit. Penalty coming against Widener, and this has just been the story of the game tonight.
Paul Smith's got to be careful, though, not to retaliate. Fontaine again.
Might as well do it while you're still out there. And finally the whistle blown, and
there's
more after the whistle.
Zagraki after the whistle again.
Oh my goodness, right in front of those fans in the corner too.
Zagraki's going to get himself thrown out of this game. The dude cannot help himself from just trying to get his nose in every little scrum after the whistle.
Yearwood's going to get hit for the retaliation as well for Paul Smith.
He should. He had no reason to do that. They were going to the penalty kill, and just again, this post-whistle flex nonsense needs to stop between these two teams.
And then Fontaine for Widener at the moment.
The refs have told Yearwood 3 times to get off the ice, and he wouldn't get off the ice. He's really flirting with another 2 right here. Just go to the box and sit down. I mean, these refs are not playing around right now. They got to keep this game under control because it's teetering on the edge.
Yeah, the penalty minutes in that
And
box
he's
score.
doing it
They're going
again.
to need another
He
score
is
sheet for this
still
game.
arguing, and he's just not helping himself.
And this game just kind of is just continuing to drag on. You know,
This
the
dude's
penalties
Yearwood's about to get himself tossed.
still
Like there are
pleading
two
with the
people
penalty
trying to
door
pull
open.
him into the box, and he just won't stop.
Right, his teammates are literally dragging him into the box and closing the door to keep it at just.
At
a
this
2-minute
point, you are
penalty.
hurting your team, and you cannot be doing that. You don't have to like the call; it's the call.
And you see the officials and the captains for both sides obviously having a conversation. You know, this is something that has to be. You know, you have to stop this from continuing.
I mean,
you have to shore up
both
the
teams
penalties.
just haven't figured out yet that once the whistle goes, if you try anything, these refs are going to call it. It's been happening from the start of the game, and these two teams just continue to go after the whistle, and they continue to be absolutely flabbergasted when they get called for a penalty.
Exactly, and how can you be surprised? I mean, Paul Smith had the delayed penalty coming against Widener. You go in after the play and retaliate.
And
He
skated
He
skated a distance to do it.
joined the scrum for the sole
Like
purpose.
he had plenty of time on his
aggravating.
way to that scrum to realize it was probably a bad idea. That thought clearly never crossed his mind, and he got what was going to happen by doing that. And this is on both sides. Both teams have been doing this. It's not just River Yearwood. It's been going on since the puck drop.
Yeah, and such a different game than any of the games we saw yesterday. You know, very much. And maybe it's the fact of we're a game in, you lost yesterday, some frustration there. And also the fact that we're not in such a hallowed place like the 1980 rink. This has a little bit more of, a regular season feel to it.
Definitely
than some
does.
of the other games
Definitely
yesterday.
doesn't have the aura that yesterday's did, but that shouldn't matter. You're
shouldn't,
still
but I
playing
think
hockey
it
at a
does.
high level. And you're still at a historic facility, and you're still playing for something. And I don't know, Paul. I mean, you just want the game to be played the right way, and we just want the game to be played. Period. And these stoppages of play just disrupts the flow.
So right now we're setting up for a 4-on-4 in front of Hayworth. 2 penalties on the board each, Yearwood and Fontaine. Finally back to the action after, that was like a 2-minute stoppage just to sort that massive scrum after the play out and just a continued trend of penalties and undisciplined play.
And the result of it is 4-on-4.
Which I could have told you before the play even happened.
Yep.
Finally able to get things going, and we have Mackley for Widener. He steps over the line, tries to drag into a shot, but can't get it off. Paul Smith's back the other way. Lots of open ice, as we've seen. Lots of 4-on-4 play tonight. Moving right down Main Street. Backhand shot by Parisi. Sticked aside by Hayworth. Out top, Stouffer, another blocker save. And Cannell now for Paul Smith. They're so good maintaining possession. Moving that puck, pad save by Hayworth.
Well, I don't even know where that was.
He snapped his foot down on top of that one. What an outstanding save, and he's now faced 29 shots on the game.
Yeah, he's probably been one of the only bright spots for Widener at this point in the game right here, just keeping them in it. It's still a 1-goal game. But Widener's got to get it together here to get this thing tied, because Paul Smith is one break away from probably busting this thing wide open.
Absolutely. There's another chance right off the face-off by Stouffer. Sent the length of the ice, and we'll come right back. And if you're Widener, your goaltender is playing so well. You got to keep that in the back of your mind when you're taking these foolish penalties. You're hurting your team and you're hurting your goaltender. He's doing his best. You have to match that. Take the opportunity
if he's allowed 4 in this game, no one could blame him. He's only allowed 2. He's played out of his mind. Needs some help in front of him now.
And especially just the mentality, because he's clearly locked in and it doesn't seem like everyone else is. Here comes Bonsall. He's got a 1-on-1. He moves to the backhand, spins back through the slot, fires a shot. Nice defense. He was covered up pretty well by Uta. Over the line, it's Ogborn for Widener, trying to reestablish some offense. 35 seconds to go on these 2 coincidental minors. The 4-on-4. Right over the line. I think
He stayed on.
Gupta was able to get back on. He just had to shuffle that
Woo!
skate, and then Wright delivers a huge hit to Cotillo. That one was clean. One of the few clean hits we've seen today.
That was a beautiful hit, too.
Thrown in front. Puck makes its way out to the point for Zagraki. He tries to shoot, and Wright settles it down. He's been all over the ice tonight.
And that's not going to be icing as, they're just going to, the goaltender's been their best outlet passer of the game so far, too.
Back to 5-on-5. Inside of 4 minutes to go in period 2. They score! Mackley ties it up.
And there it is. They break through and they get this game tied. Mackley from a sharp angle goes far side on the blocker, and somehow Widener has got this thing tied right here. And Paul Smith is just in stunned disbelief right now that this game is tied.
I am too. I mean, I really am stunned. Widener has taken, I believe, 5 shots here in the second period.
2 of them found the way.
2 of them have been goals. And Paul Smith is winning the overall shot battle 29-13.
Well, like you said.
Yet somehow this game is tied. And I think you have to look at Paul Smith. How many power plays have they had in this game that did not result in goals? And you see Widener with 2 even strength goals. It's quite interesting. Very surprising, I have to say.
Well, Widener's winning the even strength battle 2-0. Because both of Paul Smith's goals came on the power play.
And I think Widener can take that forward now. You know, this game is, despite what the shot total says, obviously the score is all that matters.
Oh, nothing there.
Paul Smith's back on the attack. You know, they got to reestablish themselves here. They're not playing poorly by
That's
any means.
how you do it.
Great shot, great chance up close by Janis, but Hayworth comes out of his net to get in front of that one. And again, he's one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, that this game is tied right now. And the net comes off again. That far post has been real loose tonight. And then again,
and
more
now there's
grabbing
Menta.
after the whistle.
And
oh
look who's right in the middle of it again.
Zagraki.
Of course.
And Fontaine. It's the usual suspects, at least for Widener.
I mean, we've said Zagraki's name a lot there. He didn't really do much wrong there. He's being a defenseman, but it's just more of those things. As soon as you see 89, everybody's eyebrows raised.
Well, right. There's a reason that he's involved in so many of these plays and so many of these penalties after the whistle.
Yep.
You know, obviously it's
nothing
all about
nothing there. We don't want to be too critical, but yes, as soon as you see 89, everybody's antenna goes straight up in this game.
And if you're Paul Smith, you have to know that, and maybe you do a little bit to, you know, put him in situations where
or just don't react to him at all.
Right.
Because the problem is, that's why there's someone in the box right now did they give Yearwood a 10 on top of everything else? I think they might have. Because we're at 5-on-5 and he's still in the box.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was another player in there serving.
Mm-hmm.
Big wind-up
that thing
slap
was
shot.
moving. I don't know if that got something or anything, but that was labeled
Angle
another
shot
shoulder
that just
save.
a bit high. And then after the play, Lakou, Zagraki shoved Stouffer into his own netminder.
goaltender. That's not good.
And yeah, this game is really just.
It's going
to reach a boiling point.
Well, the refs are not letting anything go. Like they're blowing the whistle. They're getting involved now. They're doing it right.
And the shot total just continues to expand for Paul Smith, 31-13, but it's just not resulting in.
He's making. They're getting the shots. These saves are being made.
Right. There's really not much else they could do at this point. It's all about keeping your cool and continuing to play the game that's working for you. But you know, that's just the interesting thing about hockey. Sometimes it's not how many opportunities you have; it's just how many you capitalize on. Widener wins the draw, a rare face-off draw win in their own end, but controls one right back by Stouffer as we approach 2 minutes to go in the second. Widener breaking it out. They had 3-on-3. They slow it down, move it through neutral ice. Chip back in by Paul Smith. Kennedy back for it. He gets taken down by Cannell. Up close, Stouffer shoots. Cannell on the rebound. Kennedy able to get a little bit of defense in front of that one, and then Hayworth smothers that puck up again. He's been outstanding.
He's been incredible. Like, this is one of the best goals. This might be, other than the Embry-Riddle goaltender last night, this has been the best goaltending performance we've seen so far in this tournament by a mile.
Absolutely, and we're only 2/3 of the way through.
There's plenty more coming.
It's going to be a tall task. I mean, he's on pace to face, 45-plus shots tonight. It's quite outstanding. But you know what? When I talked to head coach Michael Kennedy about their team, he was pretty much Hayworth was pretty much the player that everyone knew would be a key to this team's success. And there he is again, just cleaning up the scraps, not letting Paul Smith
really have any second
chances.
I mean, there's a 20 shot difference right here, so you just got to tip your cap to just this goaltending performance is something else.
Absolutely.
And again,
the story of the game,
it feels like it's a lock that he's going to see 50 shots in this game.
At this rate, I mean, it's been quite great. I mean, in this period alone,
he might get to 40 in this period.
Yeah, he's faced 24 in this period, 9 in the first, and Paul Smith really opened it up, but just have only found the back of the net one time. And there's a miscue, a rare miscue by Cannell, trying to outlet it to the top for Davis.
Yeah, you're not going to see that happen very often.
And I'm waiting for this game to pick up a little bit of rhythm.
And it can, too. I mean,
and I think it will.
The third period is going to be interesting, but we still got a minute and a half left here. Let's see what we got.
Will.
Here we go.
Here's Cannell again, another miscue. He had Stouffer.
He
had Stouffer moving into the slot.
Great.
Fontaine unable to clear it. Palmer was right there to put a stick on that puck as we have 75 seconds to go in period 2. Here's Bonsall moving in. He shoots. It's sticked up and out of play by Baudouin. And we get another stoppage. But, I mean, if Widener can escape this period in a tie game, that's a huge, huge momentum builder as they head towards the third because, who cares about the shot total? You have a hot goaltender. You have a tie game. You've won the 5-on-5 scoring battle. Those are the type of things that can carry a team through momentum-wise. And the one problem, I think, for both teams that obviously they need to work on are the penalties. But besides that, Paul Smith has just got to find the back of the net. They got to crack this goaltender. Widener's going to get a bit of a rush here. They have 3-on-2. Mackley over the line. He shoots. Bay makes the save. Boggled it a bit. Settles it down. And then another shove after the whistle. Ogborn got sent to the ground, but no call. Inside of a minute to go, I think we all are hoping that we can head to the intermission before another penalty gets called.
Yep, I think both teams just want to get out of here again. We thought that after the first period, but again, a reset could do both of these teams a lot of good here. I mean, Paul Smith just peppered Widener with shots, but ended up allowing 2 goals and this game being tied. But let's see if they can maybe get one late here because like we said yesterday, those ones late in the period sting a little bit more when you allow them, and
exactly.
They feel way better when you score them.
The witching minute, I believe you
witching
called
hour.
it, right? The witching hour. And we saw Embry-Riddle last night. They scored in the last second of a period against Brockport.
Good
Never
look.
know what might happen.
Well, Widener's got numbers here if they move.
Here comes Mackley. He gets pushed off the puck. Nice defense. Able to step up was Hansen inside of 10 seconds now.
They got
Paul
time.
Smith has a little bit of time to build up a rush of their own. Here they come over the line. Schaefer tries to send a shot. It's deflected out of play, and that'll do it. The period ends with a total through 2 periods, 34-14 in favor of Paul Smith. However, we're tied at 2. Widener outscored Paul Smith 2-1 in that second period, and we're heading to the third. This game is wide open right now, Sean.
It is. Yep.
It's shocking.
It's going to be a brand new game, a 20-minute game to decide who comes out of here with the consolation game. It's been an interestingly played game, but nonetheless, you do get what you want here. You get a tie game going into the third.
So we'll be back in a few moments. We're going to give you some messages from our great sponsors before we head to intermission, and we hope you'll join us in about 10 minutes or so for the third period in this tie game.
Yep, and before we head to intermission, we just want to acknowledge our sponsors, our amazing sponsors, as this broadcast is made possible by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility with simulators, lessons, and leagues. Buffalo Golf and Social is the area's best destination for year-round practice and instruction. With a great beer and wine selection, it also makes this the perfect place to watch golf with others who love the game. With locations in downtown Buffalo and Orchard Park, New York, book your next event at Buffalo Golf and Social. By 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. By Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Give them a call at 716-856-2872 or at militello.com. By the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, business, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency, providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. Give them a call at 716-675-5700. And by Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Allow Envious Gameware to give your team a look to be envious of. That's going to do it through second period action. We have a tie game between Paul Smith and Widener at 2 apiece. We're going to step away for a moment and be back with you for the third period.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele.
I created Buffalo Golf and Social for one reason: to create a space that's different and unique from any other golf facility you've ever been to. It's a place to learn, and it's a place to enjoy. You ready?
Welcome back to Lake Placid. We're up here in the 412 Communications booth for the start of the third period between Paul Smith College and Widener. We're currently tied at 2. And before we get started, we'd just like to give you a couple messages from our sponsors. Nickel City broadcasts are brought to you by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility. Simulators, lessons, leagues, Buffalo Golf and Social is the area's best destination for year-round practice and instruction. Plus, the great beer and wine selection makes it the perfect place to watch golf with others who love the game. Locations downtown Buffalo and in Orchard Park. Book your next event at Buffalo Golf and Social. Also by 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. Sponsored by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker to buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property. Trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. 716-856-2872 or militello.com. By the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, business, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency, providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 30 years. 716-675-5700. By Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. This is the Nickel City Hockey Network, Western New York's premier home for broadcast home for amateur hockey. We're going to head down to the ice for the start of period number 3 in the Silver Division consolation game here in Lake Placid. We're on the USA Rink after yesterday's 4 games on the 1980 Olympic Rink. And we have quite the game here between Paul Smith College and Widener. The score is knotted up at 2, despite the fact that the shots are 34-14 in favor of Paul Smith. The real difference, I have to say, in this game is the fact that Stone Hayworth for Widener has just played an outstanding game, and, you know, he's going to have to be a huge part of their continued success moving forward. So we're going to head down to center ice as I'm joined by Sean McHugh. And Widener steps onto the ice a little bit late, returning from the locker room for period number 3. Fresh ice in a wide open game, despite the fact that Paul Smith, like we said, has really dominated the action here. Widener actually won that second period 2-1, and we're underway.
And after all that, we still have a brand new hockey game heading into the third period. So let's see if things can open up a little bit, so we can finally get a winner determined here.
And the story of the game so far, besides the goaltending of Widener, has really been the penalties for both sides, just taking a toll, slowing down this game. And, you know, hot heads, I think, on both sides. We'll see what that looks like here in the third period. We've already seen, you know, what's got to be pushing an hour of combined penalty minutes between the two sides.
Oh yeah. With the two 10-minute penalties, we're probably over 60 minutes.
Yeah, I think that scorekeeper might need to have a second sheet going there just for the penalties.
Oh man, we might be under the third sheet by now.
Yeah, he needs that. He needs whiteout. Anyway, here's Schaefer for Paul Smith getting the period started on the offense. He shoots, he scores, top shelf.
Wow. Well, that was the prettiest thing we've seen all game. What an absolute rip from Schaefer right under the bar. 52 seconds into the third, Paul Smith, they came out mad in this period, it looks like. They did not like how that second period ended, and they come right out and they snatch that lead right off the hop.
And one of the first times that Hayworth really has just gotten beat. The first 2 goals, you know,
rebounds.
It was rebounds and power play movement, you know, great stuff there. But that was just one-on-one between Julian Schaefer and Stone Hayworth, and Schaefer won that battle with a beautiful shot.
I don't know if any goalie in this tournament makes that save. I really don't. That was a ridiculous shot.
And that's, you know what, we talked about how many shots Paul Smith has in this game. They've looked so sharp on offense. I think it was only a matter of time before they really started picking their spots, and now they're back in the driver's seat ahead again. A minute into the third period, less than that when the goal crossed the goal line. It's, you know, Widener's turn to answer now. Let's see if they have it in them. They did it once. Came back from a deficit. See if they could do it again. But Paul Smith's back on the attack. A backhand shot by Janarone. Another save by Hayworth. And then on that loose puck, Engel fires it wide. He's been letting that thing rip tonight, just having trouble finding the net.
Yeah, but once Engel hits the net, though, that's going to cause a scoring chance or even a goal because he brings the heat with that shot.
Yeah, certainly. But here's Widener on the attack. Mackley circling around. He's got a goal tonight. This afternoon, I should say. Gives it up close. Puck loose in the crease. Another delayed penalty coming.
And, yep.
for a hold, I believe, against Paul Smiths. On that scoring a chance. Jimmy Wines had that opportunity up close.
Yeah, I didn't really see that there. I'm not sure if – I didn't really see much going on there, but not that that matters. Widener's going to get a chance right away to get back in this game, so let's see what they can do with this power play. They did score. They have 2 on the power play this game. So, I mean, no, they haven't. That was Paul Smiths that's got 2. Wow.
Right, I was going to say, Paul Smiths has really taken advantage of – well, they've had so many power plays. They've taken advantage of some of them. Widener has had less success on the power play tonight, this afternoon, but that should, be an opportunity here, down by a goal, to try and set something up. And, especially with the lopsided shot advantage, these opportunities are crucial for a team like Widener that has had a little bit of difficulty generating offense. And there's a good chance there. Bodies in front of the net.
Puck movement, D-to-D passing. That's how you want to run the power play. Let's see if Widener can maybe get some of that going, maybe get the goaltender moving, get the defenseman out of position, and create some shooting lanes.
Paul Smith wins the draw, but it's played out to the blue line, chipped diagonally to the near side. Finally able to get a clear was Hansen. Hayworth settles it down behind his net. 30 seconds into the penalty against Paul Smith. Stouffer keeps it in at the point, shoots it in, glove down by Hayworth. He wanted to keep it in play and give it up to one of his skaters in front of him, but Parisi was right there kind of putting pressure on that puck.
Yep, so this is not what you want if you're Widener. You want to play in the offensive zone. Paul Smith, they're just getting some free seconds ticking right off that clock every second they spend in the offensive zone there.
And Stouffer, who just fired that shot, stays on the ice. He's going to take the face-off draw shorthanded. Loses it, so now Widener has a chance to break out and set their power play up once again. Cross ice. Here's Wines, now to the near side. Bonso moves in, faked the slap shot, moves to his backhand, throws it on net, settled down, and then
not necessary at all.
Bay able to settle it down.
Yeah, they snowed the goalie.
More of this.
They snowed the goalie right there. The thing that I don't understand why people do that, but
it's just been such a chippy, contentious game today. And the product on the ice itself has been quite competitive and very even.
It's been a competitive game.
It's all after the whistle stuff today.
It's been choppy.
Shorthanded draw 1. Cannell carries it. He chips it ahead to himself. He's going to chase it down, get there first. He beats Kennedy. Now controlling possession shorthanded here. 50 seconds to go on the penalty. Paul Smith is content with this for sure. Cannell passes it off to the wing. Palmer has a little bit of trouble with it. He chips it down low. Now Cannell back into the play. He's been all over the place tonight. Centering pass, just unable to bring it in was Palmer. It's a great possession shorthanded there.
I mean, Paul Smith is doing exactly what they need to do on this penalty kill to keep that lead. And again,
still unable to clear.
They finally get to center ice right there. They've got some numbers if they move here.
Yep, here's Cotillo moving in. He winds up big slap shot off target. It's going to rattle all the way down the ice.
That's probably going to kill the penalty.
And just 10 seconds to go on that penalty to Janarone. Really effective kill, I'd have to say, for Paul Smith. 3 seconds to go.
And they're even, and they're going to get an offensive zone faceoff due to the icing.
And just poor execution there and the salt in the wound at the end of it. The icing call. Paul Smith's right back down to the offensive zone with 5 skaters back onto the ice. And the lead 3-2. And that shot advantage, like we talked about coming in, has just ballooned. It ballooned during that second period and didn't hurt Widener too much, but now starting to pay dividends for Paul Smiths. Puck chipped out of play over in the near corner. Faceoff's going to come right back to that same spot, to the glove side of Hayworth, who still made 32 saves already in this game. 16 minutes left in the third period. Still, like we said, he let that goal in. He did get beat on that shot, but he's been so sharp tonight.
Oof.
Bedoin back in his own end, trying to break out Paul Smith's. Pass deflected up to a chance. He moves, tries a shot low, sticked aside by Hayworth. Another attempt, sticked aside. Widener trying to carry it out. Fontaine picks it up. He passes it forward to Mackley. Mackley moving in, looking for a shot. goes around his defender, loses control. Davis steps in. And Paul Smith will just play it to center ice. Back to Bedoin. Played all the way up. But that's Schaefer on his horse.
He waved it off.
Tried to get there. Oh, breakout pass intended for Mackley. Couldn't bring it in. He heads to the bench. And Davis for Paul Smith will carry it up.
Yeah, just bumper cars in the neutral zone right now. People having a lot of difficulty breaking out of their zone here. But again, Paul Smith will have it this way as long as the puck stays out of their offensive zone.
Absolutely, yeah. Paul Smith doesn't have to change anything about the way they're playing right now. Just continue keeping that puck down in Widener's end. Keep sending shots on Hayworth, making him uncomfortable as they do there. Great glove save on the chance from right in front by Wright.
How did that puck stay out of the net right there?
That's outstanding, and Wright has already gotten a goal tonight. He's been everywhere on both ends of the ice. The center for Paul Smith's big part of the reason why they're ahead, and you know, that's just a great save by Hayworth. Another one of great saves, and there he goes again with that glove. I mean, he's been forced to work tonight.
I still will die on the hill that he has been the best player for either team today. And not to say there are players that haven't played very well, but I mean, 35 saves on 38 shots, and some of the shots he's faced, I mean, if he allowed 6 right now, nobody would blame him.
Yeah, certainly, especially, you know, given the fact that his offense is struggling to do the same on the other side of the ice. His value becomes that much more important to his team because, you know, it's not like it's a goal-scoring battle. It's a tight game.
This game could have been over in the second period if this goaltender wasn't playing as well as he's been playing. And here's the thing, he's not getting discouraged or getting frustrated even though he's under siege. He's still playing, he's still working, and he's still making saves.
And he's been really active with that stick, kind of coming out to challenge shooters. I think that's a big part of the fact that Paul Smith only has those 3 goals tonight.
Oh, that was centimeters away from being a yard sale collision.
Paul Smith's trying to set it up again, moving through center ice, pass onto the tape of Ukta, who got that first goal tonight for the Bobcats. Hayworth sticks that one away in front of his face.
What we haven't seen a lot of from Paul Smith today, their base offense yesterday was operating below the goal line and feeding to the slot. That hasn't happened a lot, and I wonder if they're going to try that because that set right there looked a lot like their offense yesterday that got them 5 goals, or 4 goals, excuse me. Even though they have 3 here, so they're on pace.
And Widener trying to set things up.
There he goes.
Big hit delivered to Ogborn.
Oh, that was a dangerous, sneaky little snapper. And Zagraki gets sent into the net right there by Kime.
He's just been all over the place after the whistle.
He didn't do nothing. I don't know he didn't do anything there, I don't think.
No, he just kind of got, tripped up a little bit.
I don't believe he's going to get sympathy from anybody right now, but he was not doing anything there.
Yeah, he's certainly been an instigator tonight, so.
It's what makes him good. He's a good hard-nosed player. Just today he's might have dialed it up a little too high a couple times, and it hurt his team. But certainly wouldn't ask him to change his game at all. I mean, I like the way he plays. Just today, he's crossed the line a couple times.
And, that happens in such a high-intensity game.
Sure it does.
Like we talked about after a loss yesterday, as Hayworth makes another great save, trapped it under, and then
there's Hayworth having enough of this.
He sends a Paul Smith player to the ground with his blocker hand.
Problem is that's going to be a penalty every time.
That's, again, what we've seen all day. Now the goaltender getting involved, and we talked about how composed he's been, finally had enough.
I don't think anybody's going near that crease again if they don't have to after that, though. That was a pretty stiff jolt from that blocker right there. I've been there. That doesn't feel good when a goalie gets mad enough and blockers you. It hurts. You really think twice about getting in that guy's face.
Yeah, now the Paul Smith bench, I think, obviously pleading their case for a call.
They're not getting it.
Looking for a penalty.
They're not about to get that call. They very well might have a gripe, but they're not getting that call right now.
It's just been that type of game. So much physicality and animosity.
And I got to give these officials credit. They've let enough of it go where it doesn't take away from the game.
Yeah.
But once a line is even tiptoed, these refs have been on it.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've done a very good job controlling the game. Despite how physical and chippy it's been, it hasn't gotten out of hand. Paul Smith, Palmer has it on his stick. He moves to the slot, lots of room. He shoots, it goes high. He had a lot in net there. And it's chipped the length of the ice by Widener. Goes wide of the net and will head back down in front of Hayworth.
So again, there's a little bit more pace to this period here after the quick goal there by Paul Smith. But again, Widener in familiar territory right now. Got to play from behind, got to kind of climb the uphill battle here. And they've got to do it now. They got 12 minutes to get even, and then they're going to have that much and then maybe more time to get this game won here for either side. But right now, Paul Smith is completely content playing in the Widener zone with the lead.
And Widener's still with only, I think, 2 or 3 shots in this third period. Just more similar to what we saw in the second in terms of the lack of shots for their offense. And it's not going to do it when the other side is just continuously hitting your goaltender with shots from every angle, especially high-quality shots from up close, like we've been seeing so far in this third period. Cannell, puck on his stick, always a threat. He moves in to the backhand up close. He tries to go back to the forehand and go top shelf. Scrum in front of the net. Paul Smith setting up the offense. Shot sent in from a tight angle by Stouffer. It ends up back on the stick of Cannell. He tries to play it out to the point. It's scooped up and backhanded deeper into the zone by Keim. As we approach 11 minutes to play in regulation, Paul Smith's with the lead. Back the other way for Widener, Catello. No real support there on that puck, and Paul Smith's quick to go and pick it up. Widener's offense really relying a lot more on the forecheck here, I think, than setting up any real offense in there. It almost resulted in something. Catello streaking in, unable to get the shot off. Right back the other way. Stouffer comes in, shot. Save made by Hayworth. Puck trickled through the zone, through the crease, but nobody there on the far side. Paul Smith setting up the offense again. Stouffer tried to jam it home, 5-hole. Nice save by Hayworth. That could have been so good.
That could have been the dagger right there.
But this Paul Smith's offense, just moving the puck methodically. All 5 areas, all 5 players getting involved, especially crashing that front of the net. And then more pushing and shoving after the whistle. A couple guys on the ground there as we approach the halfway point.
Yeah, about 10:19 to go here in this first period. And again, after that quick goal in the first, minute and change, in the first minute of the third period, Paul Smith has pretty much played all of this period in the Widener end, which is exactly what you cannot have if you are Widener. They gotta, I've said this a bunch, but it's a recurring theme here, got to get into the offensive zone and play offense.
And another thing that's gonna deter them from doing that, the penalty called against Matt Kennedy, into the box, 2 minutes for Widener, and Paul Smith's really with an opportunity to really finally take control of this game. They've had control in many areas of the game, but finally on the scoreboard, an opportunity if they can complete on this power play here. They've been so effective with that passing, although great defense from Widener, shorthanded. And looks like Bonsel's down with an injury.
That's not good.
After a great defensive play.
They got to blow that play, Dad. No, he went, come on, man. The player's hurt. What are you mad about?
And yeah,
unreal. There's an injured player on the ground. You got Paul Smith's players arguing that the play had to stop.
Yeah, trainer's ready to head out there. That was, you knew it was bad right away. The way he
went down, he reached for his knees, having a hard time putting pressure on that leg.
And that was after such a great effort play by Bonsall.
Wait a second. He's skating off under his own power. Well, whatever the case may be, there's an injury on the play right here, and that had to be blown dead. And, yeah, he's skating to the bench, and he's in obvious discomfort right now.
Able to get off on his own power. Paul Smith wins the draw. They're still on the power play for a minute and 35 seconds. Again, they would really like to just kind of put this game away with a goal here. LaChance trying to set it up. He drops it off.
Oh, good feed.
Great pressure in front of the net.
Just couldn't get a stick on it to get it over the pad.
Hayworth got his glove in the right spot before a solid shot attempt could get taken there.
Let's see, a minute 21 left. Plenty of time to operate on this power play here. And you got to think Paul Smith really wants one here just to extend that gap so they can play back, go back in their defensive shell.
That puck is loose and a scrum of bodies in front. Widener penalty kill, gets a bit of relief here from Cat Trombone. He sends it the length of the ice. Wright circling back. He's been one of Paul Smith's best players tonight. This is big for the penalty kill for Widener, killing time. Finally, Hansen steps in. He's got some space. He moves to the near side of the ice, gains the blue line. 45 seconds on the power play. His shot goes wide on the stick side of Hayworth. Puck loose in the slot, slapped the length of the ice by Widener. Long outlet pass ends up into the penalty box.
That's about the 5th time that's happened today.
And we'll bring it back down to Paul Smith's end, which again is great for this Widener penalty kill inside of 9 minutes, although, you know, you have to start thinking about putting more offensive pressure on, taking more chances, and, you know, really going all out to get that equalizer here.
And they're still in it. But they're still in it. It's still a one-goal game. We can argue whether or not it should be, but the scoreboard is the only thing that means anything to anybody when it's all said and done.
Absolutely. That's all we're talking about here is that 3-2 score. And Paul Smith, I'm sure, is well aware of that fact that their lead is far from safe right now. Still 20 seconds on the power play.
All it takes is one bounce.
Wright setting up below the goal line. You mentioned that's something that they had success with yesterday. That time, turnover forced by Wines. He sends it all the way down to Bay.
It's the first shot Bay's seen all period.
If you want to call it that.
Somebody has to.
Right. Back to even strength, 5-on-5. Widener gets the man out of the box, but it's a shot taken by Schaefer, who's got a goal tonight. He's got that goal, the go-ahead goal. Nice save by Hayworth. He's already at 43 shots faced tonight. I think
my number of 50 is looking good.
Yeah, your guess at 50 is looking real good.
Should hit the over on that on DraftKings.
Paul Smith trying to set up in the slot. Palmer has it taken away. It's chipped down the ice, and they'll come back.
That will be an icing.
This period's moving a little bit quicker than the other two. I think a lot less penalties.
Haven't really hardly been any penalties minus
seen.
the one. And, yeah, moving. There's been some plays here, so. But again, now the clock becomes the mortal enemy of the Widener University pride, as they got to get in the offensive zone first. They got to start getting shots here. I'm not sure they have any in this period.
And Paul Smith has just been so effective in the offensive zone, winning faceoffs like they did just there, getting shots from all angles. That time it was Davis from the point.
Widener's got to win these puck battles, though. That has been killing them.
Absolutely.
And this does not help them either.
Nope. And I see what they're doing there. You know, they're trying to set up those long breakout passes.
I mean, it's worked. It has worked for them, just not lately. But, I mean, at this point, you just got to do whatever you can, because they just got to do whatever you can to try and get an opportunity to get this thing tied.
And what's your stance? I know every coach, every player has a different philosophy on pulling the goaltenders. You know, what time are you looking for on the clock to add that extra skater?
No sooner than a minute and a half, in my opinion.
No sooner, because I know it's becoming a trend to do it sooner.
And I also,
sooner.
since you asked to elaborate, and again, coaches will disagree with me on this, and that's totally fine. I'm also not a coach. If you're on a power play, I feel like pulling your goalie is reckless, because teams can fire at your empty net and not have to worry about an icing.
It's a great point. Plenty of time, obviously, until we have to worry about that, but always something to keep in mind in a one-goal game. Obviously, Paul Smith's trying to change that, but Widener able to escape the pressure. Here comes Wines. He's got 5 defenders around him and just one guy on support, but that rebound was loose.
That's a product of not seeing a lot of shots in this period,
yes,
I think.
Bay's glove was just not where he wanted it there. Couldn't seal that puck. And now Widener has offense set up in his own, and a delayed penalty coming. Bonsol's shot. He's off the bench feeling healthy, apparently.
Yeah, and that was not the play you want to make if you're Yearwood.
Huge break for Widener there. Great couple of
checking
looks.
From behind. And a not great penalty to take right there by River Yearwood. It's running somebody from behind into the boards.
Yeah, both of these teams, when they go back and revisit this game, I think number one problem to revisit is going to be penalties, discipline. You know, I don't know how many guys have taken more than one penalty tonight, but it's multiple on each side. Yes, and it's both teams. You know, it's one thing sometimes you see games where one team
got a timeout here.
You see games sometimes where one team has an issue with discipline and the other doesn't. I feel like it's more rare when both sides are just taking penalties after penalties.
Yeah, it's been a penalty-filled game. And while we do have a second here on the timeout, we do want to state that these broadcasts on Nickel City Hockey Network are made possible by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility. And Widener, again, they get their chance. The door's been cracked open for them again by Paul Smith. Now it's on Widener to do something with that and make sure that they capitalize, because there's time left. And like I said, they were down 2-0, and for a minute it seemed like that was insurmountable. That got erased. So 3-2 shouldn't be much here. And again, it's the third period, and the thing is, it's kind of that game within the game. The goaltender, Bay, hasn't seen a lot of shots. So if you start getting him moving now and he's cold, that might be your opportunity. And again, every goaltender's different. Some goalies don't matter. I don't know if it does with Bay or not. He did fight a puck with a glove. It would make sense that, maybe he was just a little bit rusty, maybe a little bit stiff. But now they got to make sure they play well in front of him, and Bay very likely will be asked to make at least one big save on this power play.
Yeah,
if you're Widener, you got to pull out all the stops here.
Exactly.
This has got to be it. You got to play this power play like it's the last minute of the game.
And I think that's a great time for the timeout for Widener there. This is really probably their last high-quality chance.
Getting their defenseman. There they are.
This is going to be one of their last high-quality chances, and with the man advantage, this is imperative that they capitalize here in order to give themselves a fighting chance.
I mean, you definitely can't assume you're going to get another chance when you're presented with one, so you got to take it like it's your last one. So we're going to have a race for the puck right here, and Paul Smith is going to get the clear.
Right off the bat, a great clear by Parisi. Great start to that kill. You got to remember you're up by a goal. Don't have to get too fancy with it.
Paul Smith just needs to get the puck out of their zone on this penalty kill.
The clock is your friend. Just continue killing that
Don't shy
penalty.
away from an opportunity if it's there, but first and foremost, do not get yourself out of position, and holy cow, do not take a penalty.
And, yep, there was Parisi again, same thing. Just chip it and get back on defense. Stay smart. Ogborn with a nice dump-off pass. Bonsel's moving in. He looks healthy after that injury.
Yeah, he looks fine.
Always good to see. And we have a whistle and an arm in the air for
and
a slash against Janarone, it looks like, and the Paul Smith bench is.
Wow, that we just said you can't do that, and the captain takes a slashing penalty. Okay.
Man.
It's not okay. The ball is in Widener's court right here. The door's open. They're going to have an extended 5-on-3.
Not only is the ball in their court, it's on a tee.
Yeah. You're teeing up on a short par 5 right now, and there's no water or woods or sand on either side. You got to swing here, but
absolutely,
you got to make sure the club of the face is closed when you hit the ball.
Yes, right. Don't get too fancy with it. Just throw pucks on net, because we talked about how this goaltender has not seen a ton of shots tonight in Bay. Just make him work, force him to make saves.
This is what
you
need.
have so much room to work with. You can fire from every angle, and Kennedy does that. And the rebound was loose. Mackley gets it right
spread
back.
Out. Why are they all
Ogborn
overloaded on one
shoots from
side?
the point, and a save covered up that time by Bay.
Probably would have liked him to see him set up a little bit more right there. You don't really want to see a slap shot from that far out on a 5-on-3. It's good that it got on net and they got to get the face off, but you really, really got to start moving the puck, get people moving. Again, you got a cold goalie. Get him going sideways.
Right. Only 20 shots on the game so far faced by Bay. 2 of them have found the back of the net. And here comes the 5-on-3 face-off. Widener able to gain possession. They send it out to Ogborn. Now near side Mackley. Moving the puck side to side. Mackley has it on his stick. He goes backdoor looking.
What a play!
They score!
That is exactly how you work a 5-on-3 right there. D to D, down low. Pass to the back door. Everybody sells out. Then a perfect little feed right to the short side on the tap-in. Power play precision, power play perfection, tic-tac-toe, and we have a tie game.
And Bobby Cateo, who had a great game yesterday, coming up huge here on that 5-on-3. And Widener is still going to have the man advantage for another 96 seconds. This game has really taken on a whole different flavor here, and we talked about the unforced errors by Paul Smith. They're hurting themselves. They're shooting themselves in the foot by taking those penalties. 3-3 now, still 5 minutes to play, and Widener with the momentum and still nearly a full power play to go. They win that face-off draw from center ice. And just, if you're Paul Smith, you got to be like, what happened? We were playing so well for most of this game, and all of a sudden you're on your heels. And here's Bonsall, who set up that great goal with a nice assist. He's been huge after coming back from that near injury. He has it in the wing, tries to flip it to the far side. It makes its way through. Out top, Mackley winds up for a big shot. Didn't get all of it, but it was still loose in the slot. Batted down the ice. A nice play by Bo Doan. Right back up to Cotillo. He's still on the ice after scoring. He sends it cross ice. Widener all of a sudden looks so sharp and composed here. They haven't moved the puck this well all game, but now's a great time to get tuned up. Down low, Ogborn sends it up front. A great shot by Cotillo, looking for two. And a nice save by Bay, who's really got to wake up now. Hasn't faced a ton of shots, but this is the time of the game that, you know, Widener's going all out.
Yeah, and Widener found their legs. That's probably the best time they possibly could. Tie game, 4 minutes left on the power play, and they're moving. That goal by Cotillo seems to have just knocked Paul Smith back on their heels right now.
And the shots are still 2-1 in favor of Paul Smith, but doesn't matter right now because Widener has the ball in their court, like you said. It's been teed up, and they hit that drive. Now they got to nail the approach. Yeah. That shot deflected by two players in front, goes wide. Widener's still trying to set up the offense. Angle plays it around to his fellow penalty killers on that far side. Wrapped up the boards, right out in front of the play, right on his stick. Shorthanded, he shoots a nice save by Hayworth. Huge opportunity, shorthanded breakaway there for Wright. Fontaine over the line. Shot can't get through the body of Irwin. 3 seconds left on the power play for Widener. Paul Smith is going to escape that 5-on-3 with just one goal allowed. It's a 3-3 game, and they're back on the attack. Janarone with just about 3.5 minutes left in the game. Next goal could be the deciding one. Based on the way this game has been so low scoring, I'd have to assume that would be the case.
Absolutely.
Mackley dumps it in. He'll spin around, head to the bench. Ogborn steps in, forces the turnover. He throws it to the slot. One-timer taken by Zagraki, who's been all over the place tonight. Nice save by
Oh, it would be
Nicholas
something
Bay.
if he got one right there.
That would have made everything, almost everything else right.
You get a late goal in the third period, you get forgiven for a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
He's a good player. You got to watch him, and he's intense, and you got to think he wants this too. I mean, I won't disrespect any hockey player by saying they don't want it in a tie game in the third period, but yeah, that's a player to watch. He's a firecracker, and he gets involved. So yeah, he's the guy that will get the dirty, greasy goal. Somebody should take the face off for Widener, though.
That'll be Fontaine. He steps in. Paul Smith wins the draw, but control is taken initially by Wines. He gets thrown into the boards. Physical play over there. Wines is a bit shaken up. Hansen steps in. 3 minutes to go in the game. It's played back. Gilbert. Off the boards to Fontaine. Fontaine chips it in. LaChance is back for it. Kept in at the point by Fontaine. No one there for Paul Smith. Sent on, but can't get through. Another shot from a tight angle by Wines. Makes its way to Gilbert. Bay has just been forced to work like he hasn't been all game. Gilbert gets the puck back.
Ooh.
Goes off the side of the net. Nice shot from a tight angle there. Fontaine again at the point. Can't get all of it. And Paul Smith nearly had a breakout. LaChance looking ahead for Thorin, just a little bit out of his reach. And this game is just going to head down to the wire. We're approaching 2 minutes to go. 3-3. And Paul Smith's is not as sharp as they once were.
We're getting two penalties. We're getting one. Wines is getting one, and Thorin's getting one.
And that'll take us almost to the end of this game, those two penalties. That'll be interesting to see now in a tie game. 4 skaters aside.
Yeah, things definitely got interesting here. So let's take a look. 4-on-4, some open ice here. You gotta like, Cannell and Palmer out there with open ice. That's pretty scary to think about. But what do we got?
Widener was looking for 5 skaters. Paul Smith knew that it was just 4. We end up with the 4-on-4. Kennedy for Widener sends it on net.
Ooh, that was
nice
headed.
glove
Someone
save,
was there.
But there was a body back door there.
That play's there.
Yep.
It's there for them. They're trying to find it.
And Bay has not looked relatively comfortable in that net definitely been forced to make a lot of difficult saves, moving from side to side in his crease. Just about 2 minutes left in this game. Mackley for Widener is going to pick up control. Chips it to himself in the corner, but Palmer steps in. It's a battle in that corner. Now Cotillo, who's been huge in this Burning Leaves tournament.
Oh!
What
a save.
He shoots a loose puck right in front of Bay, but a nice save. I thought that one had a chance to go in. But here's Cannell for Paul Smith, trying to be the hero for his team. 100 seconds left in the game. Paul Smith setting up the offense in the 4-on-4. To the slot, a shot goes wide past the pad of Hayworth. Now Janarone moves to the slot. He leaves it out
there's
top for
plenty
Davis.
of room.
Lots of room. He shoots.
Got it.
Wide.
You have to hit the net there.
And it's going to be right back the other way. Mackley for Widener.
Great defense by Cannell, but Mackley stays with it.
Great defense to get knocked off the puck. Cannell picks it up, and he'll move it back the other way. Paul Smith just barely gains the line, but it goes back the other way. It's tapped ahead by Ogborn. 1 minute to play in the game. We're tied at 3 here in this consolation game. Ogborn chips it ahead. It's on the stick of Bonsall, who fires it wide. Kennedy steps in. He chips it ahead, but no one home for Widener. Now Janarone tries to clear it. Kennedy has no stick. He can't get on it. Palmer moving it up. He's got Janarone. He shoots. It goes
good
high.
save with the shoulder.
Great opportunity for Paul
There's
Smith
a breakout
there.
for Widener now.
And here they come. Ogborn moving it up. Doesn't have a ton of
What
speed.
a
He gets
hit!
laid out by Janarone.
Oh, wow. What a body check by
Wow.
the captain, Janarone. He yard sails him.
Oh,
Wow.
my goodness. And he had the size disadvantage there. It didn't matter. Here comes Parisi moving in. Loses
man.
the puck.
Where's this been all game?
And we have just 10 seconds to go. A backhand attempt up close. Finally,
wow.
play stops. Oh, my goodness. Where has this been all game?
Fireworks out of nowhere.
Wow. And less than 10 seconds to go in a tie game here between Paul Smith and Widener. Wow. I think we all need a little bit of a breather and a stoppage after that. We'll see what comes on potentially the last possession of the game for Paul Smith in the offensive zone. It's going to be a face-off to the glove side of Stone Hayworth, who's now made 42 saves in this game. A huge factor that we're tied this late.
Drop the puck.
In day 2.
Uh-oh.
Quickly out. A shot taken by Schaefer through some traffic, goes wide. 5 seconds. Another shot sent in, goes wide again. 2 seconds. Loose puck tapped out. And time expires in regulation. We have another overtime game for Paul Smiths. They lost yesterday to Hofstra. They had the lead a couple times today. Couldn't hold on in regulation. And we'll head to OT 3-3. Any thoughts?
That was a great period for both teams. I mean, Paul Smith gets an early, beautiful snipe show to start the period, and then some power play perfection on a 5-on-3 to get this thing tied. And then we had some fireworks at the end of the game. So, yeah, 3-on-3 overtime, that should be fun here.
Absolutely. That last minute was so intense. And we'll be joining you shortly. Don't go anywhere. We'll be heading back out to the ice for overtime shortly, but we just have a couple of messages in the meantime.
Before we head to overtime, we just want to acknowledge our sponsors by stating this broadcast is made possible by Buffalo Golf & Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility. With simulators, lessons, and leagues, Buffalo Golf & Social, Western New York's top destination for year-round golf practice and instruction. With the great beer and wine selection, makes Buffalo Golf & Social the perfect place to watch golf with others who love the game. With locations in downtown Buffalo and in Orchard Park, New York, book your next event at Buffalo Golf & Social. By 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. By Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Give them a call at 716-856-2872 or at militello.com. By the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowner, business, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency, providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. Give them a call at 716-675-5700. And by Envious Gameware, designers of high-end custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Allow envious gameware to give your team a look to be envious of. So, Ryan, let's do what we did yesterday. We got goal scorers for both sides. Who do you got?
Oh, man. I think I have to go with Attila Cannell for Paul Smiths. Doesn't have one in this game, but he's been outstanding. And for Widener, I really like the game that Danny Mackley's played for them, so he'll be my pick there.
All right, well, you stole my thunder on Cannell, but what I will do is I will go with Colin Palmer for the goal scorer for Paul Smith. And you know what? It just makes sense to me that Zagraki, if he gets an opportunity, he's going to finish one. He's been all over the ice, all over the sheet, for better or worse in a lot of cases. Having said that, he has had an effect on this game. He has been noticeable, and despite the penalties, he has done a lot of great things defensively. Certainly would not say he's had a bad game. It just seems like he's going to be the guy that ends up being the hero, which would definitely rub some salt in a wound for Paul Smith if that were to come that way.
Yes, certainly, and for Paul Smith, this would be a tough pill to swallow, a game that you had a lot of control in, and regulation shot total 46-25. The penalties are the reason that this game is tied right now, taking a couple of penalties, ending up giving up a 5-on-3 goal. And that's where we are right now, 3-3, 3v3 overtime for 5 minutes here in day 2. Both of these teams looking to pick up their first wins of the season. And here's Janarone setting up the overtime offense for Paul Smith.
Ooh, get it up.
Cotillo had the puck just a couple of inches away from getting on his horse, moving back down the ice. But Widener's going to try and set up their offense.
Paul Smith is sending both of their forwards after the puck right here. They're going all or nothing. I love this.
I do too in overtime. I think you have to be
aggressive.
aggressive.
Love it. You play to win, not to not lose.
And here's Cannell. He spins it down low. Back to Cannell in the slot. He shoots. Great save by Hayworth. Oh, my goodness. He is something else. The reason that this game is where it is right now.
He's got room here.
Goes back the other way. Here's Mackley. Puck on his backhand. He tries to center it. Great diving play by Janarone to prevent that pass. We're 1 minute in to the extra frame.
Here we go.
Here comes Cannell. He gives it up ahead. Shot taken off the
I was almost
pipe.
2 for 2, Ryan.
Oh, my goodness. Palmer with a great look there. Wow. And Hayworth has played so well, I guess it's time he got lucky, right?
Right.
And here's Bonsall. Centers it. Oh, his shot goes wide by Ogborn. He had a lot of room.
He had it too. Pass was just a little. Oh, here he comes.
Ogborn again. He's been all over the place tonight for a Widener team. We talked about their lack of depth.
Oh, Parisi, he threw his legs. Here we go.
Here we go, Parisi on the near side. Looking to pass.
Oh, it was there, too.
Beaudoin had the back
had
door.
it, but the pass was just a little ahead of him.
And now
here we go.
gives it ahead to
I
Wines.
love this so much.
Wines moves in over the line. He shoots. He scores! Wow!
Wines with
Widener.
Wines with an absolute snipe. Bay didn't even move, didn't see it. Widener comes in and rips a victory straight out of the jaws of defeat. They are outshot by 20 and a huge third period, and Widener comes in here and stuns the host team as they go 0-2 in this tournament in 2 overtime games. Widener rips a win from Paul Smith, and the Paul Smith fans here are in stunned disbelief with that.
I didn't even think that puck went in the back of the net because Bay did not move. I saw it ripple. I saw the celebration. I think everyone here is stunned right now. That was an outstanding finish.
Ridiculous shot.
Wow.
He was going the other way, and he picked the far side corner. What an absolute rip there by Wines. Okay, what a way to end that game.
What a game. Wow. So that does it for the for these two teams in the Burning Leaves Classic or Burning Leaves tournament here. Paul Smith, the host team, upset in overtime.
Again.
Wow. 4-3. So we'll be back in a few minutes with our 3 stars, but before we go to that break, we'll hit you with a couple more messages from our great sponsors.
All right, so this broadcast was made possible by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility with locations in downtown Buffalo and Orchard Park. Book your next event at Buffalo Golf and Social. By 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. By Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. By the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, business, and life insurance. And by Envious Gamewares, designers of custom high-end hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. We'll be back. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll be back with the 3 stars, and then we got to get right to Buffalo State Brockport.
All right, folks, we're back real quickly. Our 3 stars of the night, the winning goaltender, Stone Hayworth, making over 40 saves in the win. Also, Jimmy Wines with 2 goals, including the overtime winner. And Bobby Cotillo, the equalizer in the 3rd period to send it to OT. Thank you for tuning in here on Nickel City Hockey Network. We'll be back shortly for the 2nd game of the day here on the network.